Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 60. Please like and subscribe for that. A big, what's it called again? Waypoint? No. Check mark? No.
Milestone.
Milestone. Everything else in the vocabulary was spent to come to that word. For some reason, 60 doesn't feel as far away from 50. Like if you say, oh, episode 10 sounds like, oh my god, we got to 10. But if you say 60, it feels like, I don't know, kind of different. It's not as big. I guess it's the same with aging. Like when you're 6 years old, it's like crazy. But when you're 16, it's kind of like, when you're 26, you don't even care anymore. And other than that, well, I can't even decide for 26. I still have to reach that milestone myself. So yeah. Anyways, we are in a special time and place in D&D wise, because I think this is your first time where you can actually, or where you could actually chill. The last time, I think, was 21 sessions ago, which is when you decided to depart this very city you're in. And before that, and during that time, stress constantly. You had like a chill session in hell, but you know, it's hell, kind of never really is chill. But like a proper, where you can, you know, somewhat feel safe. You have access to resources, you know, and stuff like that.
You say this, but there's 8 demons. We just angered a blood legion.
Yeah.
And who knows what else is going on.
That is true. Obviously, the normal threats are present.
Ice storms.
We have no idea when that is.
Nope.
Oh my gosh, we completely lost track of whenever everything was.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, very safe these players are. Anyways, now I have to think of a question, because like this is the first time in a long time where it's kind of left to your own devices what you're gonna do, even though I'm somewhat 100% sure what you're all going to do, which is go to the library.
Take a long rest.
And that.
Yeah, the first.
So the question is kinda should also be open-ended, I feel like, which is, I guess, something that I have been wondering is that now that things have calmed down, I guess, now that your peeps have time to kind of, I guess, what's it called, put together everything that has happened, and now the future of it being open is left to you. What do your characters plan on doing, or what is their train of thought right now on, oh shit, like, we just experienced all of this crazy shit, like what is the next step, I guess is what I'm trying to say. First of all, Eric, and of course, you can be as vague as possible if you do not wish to reveal anything to me or the audience. Vague answers, obviously, allowed to. But yeah. Shoot.
Well, I'm Greg, and I'm playing Eric Spanner, the Human Artificer, and initial reaction is Eric just wants to feel grounded again. He just wants to, you know, not have to worry about rushing off to anywhere, not being attacked or feeling like death is imminent. Just like sit and just be normal for a minute, if that means for him going to, draw up plans for a new item or for, whatever, that's something he wants to do. But yeah, it's such a simple answer. Just sit, enjoy the sound of a bird chirping.
Fair.
Cool. Yeah, hi, I'm Matt, playing Fiera, the wizard. I think she's the opposite. Now that she knows what it's like not to be normal, not to be ignorant, she wants to keep on this path. She wants to keep pushing limits. She wants to keep finding information. She wants to keep finding out what hidden insanities there are, so she can bring them about in the world. So she probably has the opposite mindset of Eirik. How to go beyond normalcy and see what that limit is.
Hi, I'm Skit, and I play Isarel Leofina, and she's the druid cleric, and for the first time in her life, Isarel has come to a point where she has no idea what's coming next, and she wants to be prepared for it for once. So there's going to be a lot of research on her hand, and a lot of preparations, and yeah, she might be going through some changes while she's in a city that she's familiar with. She's been hoarding her cash, so there's probably gonna be some spending coming.
I'm Felicia. I'm playing Jade Nightlock. For the most part, Jade is kind of in this weird spot right now. She was told that there was possible more information about what happened to her family. Part of her wants to try to find more information. She definitely wants to go home, but it's a matter of trying to convince her new friends to possibly go with her despite what is going on in the world. So that's weighing heavy on her mind. And then she also wants to do a lot of research with this new time dragon thing that Fiera told her about. Wants to try to find anything she can about that to see if it's connected to this new research. So she just wants to research and reground herself with what she knows to be true and try to learn more.
Very interesting. A lot of learning. That's for damn sure. Yeah, well, gonna be excited to see what you guys will potentially find out and how that will inform the coming decision of when you eventually have to leave your bird's nest again to fly a second time outside of Dallas Solace. And for that to happen, we're gonna get shit started. So without further ado, let us get into the session. Once again, playing the intro. Play. The audio has been good. The audio has been good.
Our Messiah has ventured back, but the seeds have been planted, and we have all the necessary tools to finally continue our preparations, Your Holiness. So he has disappeared. How unfortunate. His contribution to our faith was quite useful. Then we shall proceed with our next step. The words of the Dead Sea Scrolls will us to embrace the chaos and the pools of blood that will be spilled as a result of it. Our next goal is hidden, but we shall find it. Old blood will lead us to war, and this time we shall not fail to collect the blood again. For now we possess the dagger and the chalice, and surely this war will suffice to satisfy it. Oh, prayer to the red moon. May your scarlet light bless us. We who follow in the rivers of blood that you spill. Bless us. Oh, scarlet moon. Bless
Yes, so we'll take us to a quick recap. After having a tight encounter of trying to break the dome that was surrounding and somewhat protecting Zunanir from teleportation travels, you still manage to kind of break one of the beams that was keeping it intact, and also swiftly make your way out, though encountered the holy angry light commander of the 12th Legion of Af, and just before he could feel judgment, as the cracks of the dome that you have managed to break open was still lying open, in the last second, Zephygus himself, Big Z, as he is known in the local parts, kind of aided you in that he teleported you away back to a safer space before the Light Commander could do anything. You have also managed to keep alive and re-alive, I guess, resurrect two of the three friends that you have brought you from hell. Unfortunately, Rowan's life could not be saved, but you managed and also decided to kind of take on the burden of carrying the corpse of Tenaria in a very stressful situation where a decision had to be made to kind of risk your lives in order to save theirs, and it turned out in the positive as you were able to get Veltrix back on his feet, and then as you were back in safety in Delos Solis in the inn with Tila, nonetheless you also decided to use the effigy of Saint Maria to kind of bring back Tenaria. The travels have not come to an end yet. And with that, you kind of, took a chill pill, I guess. Kind of regained your composure and did one final farewell to Goran in a bit unceremoniously act of burning him to ashes, as he was a simple but proud man who wouldn't have wished for anything more or less. And I would say that after the kind of mini burial that you had, Tenaria and Viltrix would have collected the ashes into the urn that was brought from Jade, this bronzen alloyed urn that is a symbol for the simplicity yet toughness that Goran showed during his life. And after that, you would have made your way back to the inn, where I presume all of you are preparing to take a long rest. And unless you wish to do otherwise, you can let me know. The one thing you can say is how you wish to split your rooms. You have the room of Tila, though, she's occupying the one bed, and I don't know if you want to, sleep with her in one bed. You can obviously still occupy the room, or if you wish to have separate ones. Tenaria and Viltrix definitely have their own separate room, and they wish to kind of stay, in their own space, obviously. So it's up to you to decide how you wish to have that dealt with.
I guess it's simple for me.
Do we want to stay at the inn, or do you want to plop down your tower again?
Yeah, that's obviously also an option.
Why don't we stay at the inn today and have a sense of normalcy?
That is a very good idea.
I guess I'm happy to stay in Tila's room. I have a basic bedding, so it's fine.
In that case, Jade, want to share a room, maybe?
Um,
Or would you rather stay alone a little bit? We've been quite a lot.
Uh, um, I have no problem rooming with you. But would we be able to have a room with Eirik as well? Because I feel like he wouldn't want to be alone.
A very, very accurate statement.
That is a very fair point. Maybe we can ask if we have if we can have either a triple room or a double room with bigger beds. I don't mind. Like y'all know, I don't sleep, so
I'll sleep on
don't-
the floor. I don't care. I just don't want to be alone.
you need a bed. You need an actual bed. You need an actual bath. You stink. We
fair-
all stink. We all
To-
stink.
Yes, to be fair, also, I don't really need to sleep per se either. So, I mean, we could all potentially be in one room as long as, like, there's, like, a table or something for me to sit at. I don't really care.
Let's just ask for a normal double room in that case.
Sounds good.
Okay, then you just
Yep.
book a double room. A double room as in...
Like 2 beds.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, does it mean 2 rooms or is it like 1 room for the... okay. Yeah, you are in the high-end inn, whose name I have definitely not forgotten.
thanks a
The
lot.
Sunset Inn. There it is. Yeah, and it would be 10 gold a night for a double room. So you can mark that off every night you sleep here. It's all inclusive. You get breakfast and dinner.
How do we want to deduct that?
That's up to you
Do we
guys.
still have a fund going, our group money?
It's in the tower.
It's in the tower, but I have some expendable money. I can take care of it.
Yep. And yeah, you get a very nice, lavish, well furnished and dressed big double room with 2 king-sized beds. Nice window looking out to the center of Delos Solis across the river that separates the Mittelkreis from the Außenkreis, with a small porch beneath the kind of other side of the inn, and of course a nice balcony where you can step out to with high storm-proof doors. Yeah, so you can sit down there.
First thing Jade's gonna want to do is go find a bath.
Yeah, because you have a luxury suite, there is a bath inside of this inn as well, so you have a private one. There is no need to go out, so you just step into the next room, and then there seems to be a nice bath set in gold painted, not real gold, bathtub that fits you comfortably, with fresh water that you can fill it up with, which also seems to be heated to some mechanism. So yeah, you can definitely partake in a bath if you wish to do so.
Yeah, I would just like it is due to knowing that other people are wanting to relax and bathe. Jade wouldn't enjoy it as much as she would like. She's going to like just kind of relax for like a minute, and then she's going to clean herself rather quickly so that other people have a chance to get clean before winding down.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that would inquire about getting clothes washed.
Alright, yeah. Can do that. Can just spend 1 silver to get your clothes professionally washed and fixed, even though I think you have already mended your clothes.
I think we have 2.
Yeah. The others two.
Whenever Ira gets a chance to bathe and clean off, he's gonna ask Izarel and Jade, just if you guys don't mind, like, I haven't had a chance to look at my scars and scales in a while. Can you guys like check them out for me, just to see, I just to get a second opinion on if they look different or if anything looks weird?
Of course.
I don't have a problem with looking, but I've never really seen them, so I won't
That's
be able to
It's
tell
fair.
you if anything's different.
It's at least very interesting to see. Not that I think that you are like an animal or something, Eric. It's just been kind of fascinating to see the changes that have been happening on that, because when Eric first, well, when I first met Eric, he had basically regular scars, right, on your body.
Yeah, it was just burn marks from
Yeah.
an accident, and they just never healed. They stayed as scars.
And they started to turn into dragon scales, which is the interesting part.
The very interesting part, I mean, the accident happened like 15 years ago. And nothing really changed in those 15 years. And then all of a sudden, within a few Voss of being on, the adventures, they just started to...
Yeah. Nothing changed, and then everything changed.
Yeah. But I guess, coming back from hell, being chased out of town, I don't know if the stress has changed anything, or I just kind of want someone to actually have a better view of them, because I can't necessarily tell from looking myself, so...
Sure. I will assist to help in telling you what I see.
I
So, yeah,
would
I'll-
probably be the best one to say if there are changes.
Yeah. Basically, like, take off my shirt or my apron and the shirt. Make sure that there's no new scales growing somewhere. Make sure colors haven't changed, anything noticeable like that.
Then please, once again, just as a reminder, describe to us where these scales originally were.
So the burns themselves, the original burns that happened, were basically from like collarbone down across my torso, like towards, the top of my stomach kind of thing, and a little bit covering the shoulders. Basically everywhere that my the bolero that I wear, like the shoulder piece covers, on top of the apron. I had that specially made to sort of cover up that top half of my torso.
Yeah. And I think Israel has even seen it before it started mutating, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now you can definitely see, like, you've seen the progression a bit where, there was first a progression of where it started to get like holes and mold when you encountered Calyx the first time. And through your trip in hell, it actually kind of did the opposite, where it started to like grow and manifest itself more into like what could be seen as scales. And now there is a very visible pattern. Like at the beginning, it's like it may be like some weird thing that Irik's skin is just doing, where the pattern wasn't as strongly noticeable. However, now there's a clear structure to how the scales are kind of have been placed, and transmuted across the shape of your own personal body. Obviously, scales are there to, kind of move with the body, and that's why they have always a specific or particular structure, and that is now extremely evident, where it's like, it almost seems natural that they are supposed to be there, as if you are a creature that is growing scales. They aren't big, prominent, or prudent. In fact, one of the things which make it look so natural is that they have kind of tightened in. It's like if you compare it to a chick that has been newborn, their fur is all fuzzy and stuff, and it still looks kind of crazy. But once they grow older, they all become sleek and form-fitting, and aren't as noticeable anymore. And the same is happening with the scales, where the kind of after stage of having appeared, where it was a bit sporadic and chaotic, they have now kind of taken place onto your body itself, almost as if they are starting to mature and just become one with your body. And if you maybe like tap on it a bit, you can see that you have a hardened piece of skin there. It's a lot harder. It's kind of like the same hardness as your fingernails, and would in fact have a similar feeling to it. And there's a coloration of a deeper reddish hue that is now kind of adorning your chest. It almost looks like you're wearing a very well crafted or fine knitted scale mail shirt that is made out of, well, scales, for anyone who wouldn't look or pay close attention to actually see that it's growing out of your body.
Does it look like there's anything new like on the rest of my body, or is it still just all the same place?
Still seems to be the same space. You can see that they fade a bit at the edges of where your scars end. And there seems to be like a transition between your normal skin and where the scales kind of just fade from kind of how your nails look like. Where, one part is obviously skin and the other part is, well, whatever nails are made out of. Dead cells.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that's good in the sense that it doesn't look like it's spreading.
No. Do you mind? And I tentatively approach my hand. Okay. Yeah. First I'm just going to kind of softly when you have like a scab or something, and you're like trying to touch a little bit to see like the consistency or something. Like, I'm just gonna do that a little bit to first touch them, and then when I see that, like you said, it feels like actual scales, then I'm just gonna gently try to take one and maybe just tug, not tug to try to, but just a gentle tug, just to see dude.
Yeah.
And as I do that, I'll ask Irate, how does it feel? Is this hurting you when I do this, or I'm trying to figure out a little bit what it's doing to him.
Yeah. I don't know why, but the description of tugging on a scale growing from a humanoid makes me so uncomfortable. It's something
weird.
So icky. It's like, yeah, it's like putting out a nail. Oh god.
Yeah. Basically, is what I'm doing. I'm doing this. How does it feel?
Yeah. So the scales are very similar to. They're quite smooth on the outside at first glance, but if you go over them, kind of like a cat's tongue, where it's like a very rough texture actually. So. Or like sandpaper, which is, I guess, the same like a cat's tongue. So it's perceivably smooth, but as soon as you touch it, it has a very thick roughness to it. So you can. That's the first thing you notice. The second thing you notice is if you put your finger against it, there is a warmth emanating from it. Obviously, the human body produces heat. That's normal. However, you can tell this is definitely more than what a normal humanoid would be producing. There's a certain sense of heat being perpetually kind of transmitted, and your somewhat cooler hand can pick that up quite well. and as you try to tug on this on the scales, it is similar to. I'm pretty sure you can't tug on the scale of a snake.
Yeah. No,
So
not
it's
really.
hard to, like, they're interlocked quite firmly, so you can't really get beneath it unless you use an extremely sharp blade to kind of try and perch under it, which I presume you won't try and do right now.
No, I'm not trying to hurt my friend.
Yeah, so like it's rough on the texture. They're very, interlocked, which is what I meant by that they seem naturally grown on this body as if they're supposed to be there, because there are no faults in the scales themselves.
Is it like she was asking? Do I feel everything she's doing, or is it kind of like numb? Do I?
It's like your fingernail. Like you kind of sense every point of pressure she's putting onto you, but it's definitely different from, because there are no hairs growing from your skin anymore, which is how you usually perceive most of the sensations on your body, and so that part is kind of gone. But it's not too different from when you had your scars, because scar tissue also kind of numbed that part of your body to begin with, so it's not different. It's just that now it's a hard surface instead of a soft one.
All right, I there's one last thing I'd like to see. Bear with me, and I'm just going to gently like kind of tap on it with my fist. I'm not trying to hurt him, but like to see like if there's kind of a resistance. Like if I would try to like see if this would act the same as if he was actually wearing like scale mail or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you tap against it. Like I said, definitely firm, definitely hard. And I think, and you would assume like weaker attacks, it could definitely negate much better than soft tissue skin. However, in the state it is now and the parts of the body that is, a bit limited covered, which is, just the front side, it wouldn't use much of protection. Any normal or trained soldier that can swing a sword with a decent pack will just cleave right through the armor itself. However, if it matures in the same rate it has been throughout the last couple of days you were in hell, it might actually develop into fully fledged scales that could potentially protect him from said attacks. So you can see, like, if the potential to grow is higher than what you might expect, it could turn into a natural grown armor, like the UNT that you encountered inside of the Great Woods.
I'm gonna look at Eirik and with a big smile say, "Congratulations, you're growing armor on yourself."
Yeah.
Listen, there's. I'm trying to see the positives here,
No, I appreciate that, and that's why I asked. I wanted to see if there was a different perspective, because my perspective is just, I don't know what's going on. Too much is happening, and I have no way of knowing really what any of this is. I know I did a little bit of research the last time we were here, but
we were kind of pressed for time and looking in a lot of directions at the same time.
I do, at least now we have a couple more buzzwords that I can actually do some research in.
Yeah, I think we're a little bit more knowledgeable now to what is actually happening.
Yeah. It also just makes me wonder, again, just the origin of this. It was just a little bit of a tiny explosion at the forge. Like, nothing crazy happened, but what was going on there, and who else could be impacted by this?
There isn't a lot of readily available research on long-term effects to having been exposed to a chrysalis like this, like you haven't been like in contact every day and then gone home and all that. You were basically blasted by one and you lived to tell the tale, and this is actually I'm very sorry to say this. It's fascinating. Um, it's
I don't disagree.
I know that you are more into sketches and inventions and all that, but if I was you, I would write this all down because you might be one of the first people to experience something like this, and this kind of experience could be beneficial in the long term. Just imagine if you became like the the person to come out with a book about all of this.
Yeah, went from the guy who doesn't know a damn thing about the world around him to all of a sudden being the star child of chrysalis armor.
It's not exactly the way I would put it, but more like the a first person experience, although against your will. You
I don't
know?
know. I think the way Iric said it is actually pretty cool. It's chrysalis armor. It's unique. Nobody else can say
Well,
they have
yeah,
it.
there's that. You know, just imagine the title: Iric Spanner, Artificer, Chrysalis Armor.
Yikes.
Like
This whole time, Jade's just been
how to
like,
grow your own chrysalis armor in 10 years, 15 years.
so while they've been talking and kind of, Jade's just been kind of like studying like every little thing and like touching it every now and then. Being like, what the heck is going on? Curiosity's getting the best of her.
I got to admit the fact that I mean, we still don't know a whole lot about your history with dragons, Jade, but I do have to admit you probably have some kind of like an intimate knowledge about what might be happening. I don't like I'm not saying I'm not accusing, I'm not saying that you're like part of the reason why this has happened or whatever, but I just wonder if maybe there's some knowledge deep down in there that you might be able to dig up.
Can I like roll like a religion check because my family all revolves around like ancestors and stories and stuff to see if I would have heard anything?
Yeah, sure. The thing that could actually, yeah, religion or history you can choose.
Can you give myself guidance?
14. Not really much. Or that is in any way, shape, or form similar to what's happening to Iric. Yeah, the best thing that this seems similar to is like he inherited something, genetic-wise maybe, but he said he got it kind of on a chrysalis explosion. So that kind of doesn't make much sense. So yeah, you can't really draw any direct connections with anything you've been told in the past, or at least you can't recollect it at this moment.
So since I don't really know what's going on with this whole thing, I just know that you got burned and it started and it's just what it is. But it just seems like you inherited this somehow. Do you have like sorcerer's blood in you?
That'd be news to me if I did. There was
You know who your dad is.
I mean, as far as I know,
Okay,
like I've said, I don't know what they did on their, when they went to work. I don't know what they did. They never talked about it. When they came back to visit me, they would only talk about me. They wouldn't talk about the world.
But what I mean is your parents told you, like, I am your mom, I am your dad. You did not grow like, oh, I have a mom and a stepdad or like something.
No,
To your knowledge,
as far as I know, they are who they are. I mean, they did basically leave me behind. They just gave me away to the guild and then left. So I don't know if there's any kind of history there, but yeah, they were my family.
Like I said, fascinating. I am.
Have you guys told Zephagus about this?
Yeah. Yes.
I think so. If I remember correctly.
Because he was with us when we went to go resurrect Arya, right?
Yes.
And I had a little sidebar conversation with him sitting in the church pews.
Yes. That is
His-
that rings a bell.
The reason I ask is he's a very wise man. He kind of knows a little bit about everything. Maybe if you tell him about the new developments, maybe he's looked into it while you guys have been gone.
I have no reason to hide it from him if we think it's going to be something that he might have knowledge on.
The one thing that I want to make sure is that this transformation you're going through is not going to harm you in the long run, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. My biggest concern about it is my transformation getting out and people knowing about it. Because right now, as far as I know, it is only you guys who know about it, and Zephagus. But if for some reason the what's the religion called?
Holy delicious.
Thank you. If the Holy Lichnius find out about me and what's happening, like, that doesn't bode well, I don't think.
I mean, they're just gonna come after you, and we already have this new blood order against us. So what's another enemy? We got your back. And I just bring out my hammer that I realized is still in my hammer, and I was like, I'll defend you.
I mean, we don't really have a problem with the Lichnius per se. The problems we have are with the New Blood Order. The Lichnius actually helped us bring Arya back, and they've been quite nice to Fiera and her friends. So I actually for once have no problems with the Lichnius.
I mean, I understand that they've been helpful to a point, but at some point, some guy turning into a dragon, probably
I don't
not,
think,
you know.
I think at most, well, yeah. I don't think you're turning into a dragon per se, but you are taking very dragonborn like features. And knowing that they went pretty much extinct or almost.
Let's
don't
just
know
say
how-
this. This will keep it the simplest. I don't want to become a test subject to anybody.
Oh, for sure. If anyone I mean, Fiera excluded. If anyone tries to touch you, they're gonna have problems.
Sure. No,
I mean,
sure. Us-
Fiera's gonna have a stern talking to, but
I don't mind it in the sense of trying to learn what's happening. But
yeah.
if someone wants to, come after me and treat me like some kind of, parasite,
trying to harvest your skills or something, yeah, that's something I am definitely worried about. That is one thing I don't want to happen to you. You're not just a freak, you're well, I mean, you're a little bit of a freak. We all are, but you don't belong in a lab or of some sort, like being poked and prodded. And
I don't belong on the table of a lab. I belong next to the table.
yeah, you're supposed to be the poking and prodding one, not the other way around.
Yeah. Anyway, I appreciate it. Having an extra set of eyes, making sure things aren't changing. is good. I'm gonna go take a bath.
Yes, please do. You stink.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Dang, harsh but true. Okay.
As I spell all fresh and clean.
Yeah. Then I guess anything on Fiera's side? Anything special happening there?
Just a couple of small things, I think. I'll put an alarm spell around Tila's bed. They'll make sure Glamour is up, and I'm just gonna tell him, keep an eye on the room. He'll be busy for a couple days. He can do what he wants, but he does have to check on Tila every once in a while.
Yes. I mean, she gives the best switches. It's those tiny hands that get at spots that really just feel great.
Wonderful. And then since we've been here all day, have I been able to recover at least some of my energies so I can send a message?
You can have a arcane recovery.
Then I would just double check with Godric as a Aquinos, and make sure he's up for a meeting tomorrow, and ask what time is best for him and the Light Commander.
And would you put in your message that you're going there, or are you expecting him to come over?
Yes, I'll be visiting his city.
Okay. You will get a response. I would say. I would just say it. The information that you would party with is the Light Commander is busy, but he can visit you since he was planning to visit Zephyrus anyways, and will be the next day afternoon 4 o'clock.
Interesting. That saves me 100 gold. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll leave it at that then.
Alright. Then, with all of your pre-bed preparations done and completed, finally lie down in a normal, comfortable bed surrounded by normal 4 walls made out of wood, not some bloodstone from hell or other weird material. Or slowly fall to sleep or into your meditation. I need one of you guys to roll me a D100.
I got it. Everybody looks scared.
92. Interesting.
Look, and they keep track of these numbers.
Oh, you never know what it's for. Another D100?
I'll do it this time.
It's 70. Okay. So, you all go to sleep. And you'll close your eyes. And you'll get a long rest. And nothing happens.
Thank you.
Yay!
Ah, that's my favorite part. Ah.
Do I give it?
The power in my hands.
Alright, I need to check my spells.
Yes, so you can do your post rest preparations. But dawn comes. It is a new day. Hey, hey. Those are some song lyrics. So.
I don't need this. I don't.
It is up to you. I would say it's like around, probably take a longer sleep, you know. Probably a bit restless, just as per proximity from everything that has happened. Your dreams probably are stirring around in your bed, being a bit restless of everything that's occurred. However, waking up, having like nothing necessarily immediately prominent that is stabbing your back and pushing you to do something, there's a sense of relaxation that you can just kind of take a deep exhale, breathe in the nice fresh air surrounding the Servalon Great Woods inside of a nice, luxurious, comfortable room with properly sheeted beds and breakfast that gets delivered to your doorsteps with a very nice poached egg with some French toast and a variety of different teas, a side of beans and a healthy bowl of fruit just placed outside of your door, and a servant just ready to serve you that. A different experience, to say the least.
Sounds
Do I have my
delicious.
Do I have my clothes?
Yeah, you definitely have your clothes. They'll have also been
Okay.
sent up to your room, and you can pick them up whenever you want. So basically, you can now tell me, since the day is open, I will just go around the table, our virtual table, and then you can tell me anything you would like to do or whatever you would like to do first in your day. So, of course, starting off with Eirik. You wake up, you get your breakfast, if you choose to eat breakfast, and what you wish to do.
Yeah, I would. I guess I would ask one of the four of you at least to just accompany me as I walk around to a few shops, just because I don't want to be alone. It doesn't matter who wants to come, any one of you. But what I'd specifically just be looking for, I would like a couple jars of flammable oil, and some tar or pitch that I can use as part of a new thing that I might want to experiment with.
Okay. Anyone who would join?
I would totally join.
Isarel too.
Yes.
I want to look for some actual flasks so I can transfer my boot holy water into proper devices.
Mhm.
And possibly some powdered silver so that we can make it when needed.
Okay. Very well then. You step out back into the store district of Delasaurus, which is the outer circle where all the shops are kind of placed there. And walking around, you would find, I don't think you were there before, however, you have heard, and Isorel definitely could navigate you towards a brewing shop or alchemy shop even, that probably sells, oil and stuff like that for you to kind of purchase. You go there, you see it's owned by a small female gnome that does indeed sell flammable oil, and it would cost 2 silver pieces per flask.
All right, I'll take. Let me take 3 flasks.
Okay, so that would be 6 silver pieces that you can knock off. She will actually. Oh yeah, no, please say.
Do they just have like empty flasks?
Oh, definitely, yeah. They sell empty flasks.
So I want like 4 empty flasks.
Okay, that would be 12 copper pieces.
I will hand over 12 copper.
All right. The kind of lady, and she does seem like a younger female gnome, in stark contrast to your headmaster, who was an old female gnome, Rino Pilar. And she says,
Excuse me, sir, but are you maybe perhaps in the works of having to use more than, or are you in the need of many
materials in your future endeavors?
I mean, we can all use more materials for different things. For the time being, I'm just I suppose experimenting with different combinations of things to see if I can, I like to create my own tools and projects. So I kind of just want to, I get an idea and I just go and get a little bit of material and then I build something, test it, see if it works. And if it works, then maybe I come back and, stock up on stuff.
Well, may I suggest something that's an item of my acquisition that could greatly benefit someone like you? I also see that you potentially travel a lot. Is that correct?
You'd be correct.
Then it's of utmost importance to have access to the materials that you require. This store is only here, and stores can only be found in limited supply.
That's for damn sure. There are some places that don't have anything.
Yes, that is quite troublesome, is it not?
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so, in our brewing community, as we might call it, we have been kind of working to have a sustainable source of materials that you can kind of have in yourselves. And with the help of some other mages, we have concocted this very special craft. And he kind of goes back behind the desk and then whoop. Pulls out a jug that looks quite peculiar in the sense that it looks like a jug that can maybe hold up to a gallon of liquid, and there are many different corks around the entire jug. So there's one on top, and then there are multiple on the side, and each of them have like a different color. And she says, "This is what we have named an alchemy jug. So for anyone who wishes to have a variety of different liquids at their disposal at any given time, in any given location, this jug can produce a number of different liquids at any given time. Using some of a bit of enchantment and other spell components, which I'm not too familiar with. I'm more of the alchemy person and not much of the enchanter myself. But you can create water, even wine, acid as well, even some basic poisons with this jug and its magical properties.
And oil, like I've asked for already.
I'm pretty sure, yes. Oil is one of the things that you can also produce with this. It can also produce mayonnaise. Yeah, it was my request. I really love mayonnaise.
You're allowed. That's an interesting choice for sure. So are you talking, is this unlimited? Is the enchantment just forever?
Yes, you basically just decide which of the 12 ingredients, 10 ingredients you wish to have appear inside of this jug, and it will appear.
It sounds like a kind of modified jug of never ending.
Sort of. It does end. Like, once it's full, that's the amount it can produce, and then you pour it out, and then you will have to take time until it fills up again. And each time you have to choose which of the 10 ingredients that have been enchanted into it you can use.
That's really handy, actually. Gotta be real. How long does it take to refill itself?
It usually takes about 2 gallons per minute. And since it can hold, up to 1 gallon, it can, well, you can calculate the math yourself.
That's super fast. I thought that you were gonna tell me it was gonna take like a day to refill itself or something. That's
No.
incredible.
It's quite fast. It's some good magic that has been casted here.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but this sounds really interesting.
It could be beneficial. Like if it can do, like you said, it can do poisons. Like there's so much stuff you could do with that. The oil is flammable. We'd always have water.
Yep. Purified water. We would never have to be scared of drinking water, like knowing where we just came back from.
It could save me a spell slot, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Neither would Izarel.
Yeah.
This is a really good purchase.
That's amazing.
It would be, yeah. And how much are you selling it for?
This jack went around 5,000 gold. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it has a limit per day that it can produce of a specific liquid, but that's dependent on which liquid you choose.
Are you very firm on that price? I mean, we've been on the road for a while. Our funds are kind of low, but I feel like this would be the great thing for our party as a whole with how much we travel. Is there any way you'd be willing to budge on the price at all?
First make a persuasion check.
I'm gonna give myself guidance. Well, not that I mean it.
23. She's like, you know what? People seem like the adventuring type, so I assume you will probably partake in buying more things in the future. Is that correct? So
Absolutely.
I would see you as welcomed customers and investments. I would not feel too bad to give you a small discount if it's true that you shall return in the future to invest more of your own money inside of my small store. So I would gladly go down to 4,500.
I just look at my friends because I know I'm poor, so I just look at my friends because I don't know how much money they have.
Also, I would also give you a free greater healing potion on top of it.
Oh, that's very generous.
Arik?
I mean,
How empty is your purse?
I'll be real. I still have. I'm gonna give us a minute. Back away from the counter so you don't talk about money in front of the shopkeep.
I'll talk to the shopkeeper to try to distract.
Yeah, she seems easily
Keep her busy.
I'm asking all sorts of questions.
My whole pouch right now is 2,921 gold.
I have 2,140 goals on me.
Working perfect.
And then we have no money after that. We can't do a damn thing.
No money. We buy this and then we're broke. If I remember correctly, however, in the tower we have a little bit of
There's a little bit. I had to use a bit for the bone, but we also have some jewelry, and if we can sell the gigantic bone taking up a space. So yeah, there's options.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a purchase for the group. You know, that would be very beneficial to all of you.
Yeah. And assuming it, how many liquids did we hear? We heard water, we had oil, acid, mayo, poison. I mean, there's a few others that she hasn't told us
Wine.
about yet.
Tell us
Wine.
Oh, okay, yeah, wine.
Excuse me, shopkeep. Would you mind reminding us which liquids are available with this jug? We're just weighing the options here.
Yes, of course, of course. Well, acid is one. You can, per day, produce up to 8 ounces of it. Basic poisons, you can create up to half an ounce per day. You can create 4 gallons of beer. So you could technically open your own brewery and sell that. 1 gallon of honey. And exquisite honey at that. And 2 gallons of mayonnaise, as per my own request. 1 quart of oil. 2 gallons of vinegar. 8 gallons of fresh water. 12 gallons of salt water. And 1 gallon of wine.
All right,
I
well,
mean, yeah, as stupid as it may sound, like, even those things, like beer and wine and all that, like the honey and even the mayo, like, we do have access to a kitchen in Fiera's tower, which means, potentially, as stupid as it sounds, in our downtime, it would allow us to make better food, but perhaps even sell some goods in towns and make a little bit of money this way.
and I'll be real, the idea of having just wine
quart?
or beer available, if we're ever in a situation where we're having like a discussion with anybody, we can offer
Yeah.
our drinks,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah. That can be, and having a quart of oil every single day?
if I can come up with some decent ideas, then having oil readily available might be helpful.
Dude, you
Having-
having acid available would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, having acid, having poison. Like, we can make throwing things, of acid and poison,
You
which,
can make like bombs.
well, yeah, that's the thing. With demons, that can be very, very useful.
I'll be real, that's not the first time I've thought about this. There's a couple
know, there's-
ideas drawn down already.
I know that noggin is working fast.
Do
I
I
say,
try to negotiate a cheaper price? I just kind of like whispered.
I mean, she
quietly.
did bring it down, and she is offering a greater healing potion on top of it. It is quite a bit of money, but I can put down 200 platinum pieces for this.
I can do 200 platinum and then what would that 50? No, 250. Hold on.
Yes,
Yeah.
250.
250 platinum. Yeah, I can put down 250 platinum.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I before going back to the shopkeep, I'm gonna take out my purse, my coin purse from my bag of holding, count my 250, hide the rest, put it in a small pouch, like components. Like, I take my components pouch, just empty it in my bag of holding, just put that money in there and go like this to Eirik.
Same thing. You know, she's gonna end up counting it herself anyway, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So a 200 and 250 platinum split from both of you, I presume?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she takes it and does count it, obviously.
My purse.
A whole lot lighter.
Yep.
Well, thank you very much. Pleasure making this purchase, and I hope this will come to good use, and I'm sure it will. She plops there, and as promised, here's also a greater healing potion.
I'll
What's that?
Take it. turn around to Eirik and hand it over to him.
Right away into the bag.
Yep, because you have been such sweethearts. I'll also throw in a normal healing potion just for you too. Just because I appreciate the purchase. And also puts
Thank you so much, Art.
We appreciate the
That is very, very
the
generous.
generosity.
Thank you very much.
Oh no need. A happy customer is all I wish for, and I'm pretty sure.
This has changed a few things for us. That has made our lives a little bit, a whole lot easier actually. So that it is very appreciated.
I guess if you ever need any alchemy concoctions to be made for you, or maybe some potions readily available, I have a few offered there. You can also send in requests of potions to be made. I am quite nifty with them.
Yes. In the healing potion department, do you have anything left over that we could perhaps look at?
Yes, of course. I still have 10 regular healing potions. Already gave you one, and then still have 2 greater ones that I can sell to you.
I am counting in my head. Regular potions were 50, right?
Depends on the shop.
Okay. And how much are your regular healing potions?
Well, due to the tremendous amount of want on these, I had to somewhat increase the price a bit. 75 gold right now. That most of my stock is being supplied to the military at the current moment. They seem to be in deal, but since you have bought the jerk, I am willing to bring it down to 55.
It is good to know. Yeah, it is great to know. Thank you very much for this information. I'll keep it in mind when I am ready to buy some potions.
Alright. Well, I'm open until 5 p.m. So during that time, also have to make sure that no one else buys it at the time.
I'll take 2 of them.
Oh, all right. Of the regular ones.
Yeah, just the regular ones.
All right, then 110 gold, please. And over 2 regular healing potions.
So I now have 3 regular healing potions, a greater healing potion, and an alchemy jug.
Yes.
Did you say that it was just you who was creating this alchemy jug, or do you have like a group that works with you on this? Because it seems like it's a decent task to enchant.
Yes, exactly. Well, it was part of a collaboration of the new magic store that was opened up here recently. Since, well, the somewhat boom that came with, well, the need for more magic items, and the supplies have been running low. If you go down the road, there has been a new magic shop that has been opened, and we sometimes put our brains together to come up with new things that might help any weary travelers or regular customers that come by. It's the Arcane Arcada. It's run by Tumorin Escapada.
Good to know. Good to know. I just say because I mean, we do travel. You've noted that. And we've admitted that we travel a lot. So if there's, things that you ever need to, I don't know, transport from place to place, or someone has it for sale, but you can't get to there. Just maybe if we're like traveling somehow, we can pick something up for you, or deliver something to someone else. Just a little bit of side business for each other. We could help, maybe.
Yes. Definitely. I will keep that in mind. What are your names?
Oh, we're. I mean, just as a group, you can call us the Fate Weavers.
Oh, great to know. Fate Weavers. Do you have a special place where I can maybe send the message? Perhaps a letter?
For now, we are staying at the Sunset Inn.
Correct. Oh, Sunset Inn.
Yeah. Other than that, if you, sorry, I was not expecting to talk.
It's alright. Eating is permitted.
I have a candy stuck in my teeth. Okay. Other than that, we usually travel quite a bit, so we don't necessarily have a hold down spot, but we do work with Master Zephygus. And,
oh wow!
Yeah. But there is a young girl that we do take care of that is staying at the Sunset Inn, so she could probably take messages for us while we're traveling.
All right. Well,
Her name is Tila, and she's very sweet. And
all right. I will try.
We are taking care of her, and I say this with like very heavy implications of like we're not trying to get her mixed in some messy stuff.
Oh, alright. Jesus. Well, I will try and keep that in mind next time I need any help. Oh, by the way, I don't think I've introduced myself. My name is Tumorin. Nope, that's the other guy's name. I kind of mixed them together. My name is Hinindri Filiandiri.
Pleasure to meet you.
There's a lot of eyes in there.
Yeah, quite common in the Gnomish culture. We do have our eyes. Do you need me to show that?
They are important to see.
Yes, that is what I say too. People don't understand that. I will just post it in chat for the sake
I
of.
saw Matt's brain break when he heard the name.
Yeah, literally halfway through the first word, it was gone. I just unraveled.
Yeah, with the Gnomish accent as well.
I all I could hear was he.
That's Gnomish actually. That's how the language works.
Oh my god.
Well, we greatly appreciate your generosity and your information. Hopefully, we will see you again.
Yes. Hopefully indeed. Well then, have a great, nice, splendid rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. And you exit then. Okay, quick skip over to Matt.
Yeah. Whoa, I gotta remember what I was gonna do. I'm gonna check on our two friends, Veltrix and oh, I know her name. Tenaria?
Yes.
Is that right? Yes. And just see what their plans are.
Yeah, go to them. They seem to be kind of just taking the morning very slowly. Beltrick says, well, It's been kind of stuck on our minds. That's for damn sure what our next step's gonna be.
Right.
I think our plan is, as we have set before, I think we would try and gather some of our own contacts back up in Corliss. I think Tanaria wishes to return back to the academy and maybe find some helpful allies there that might potentially help us.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. Well, depending how long you two stay here, I would still love to exchange notes, Naria, if you want to do that. I don't know how long you plan to stay here. Maybe tomorrow?
Yes, definitely. I think we have also discussed that, just after everything that has happened, it's maybe a wiser choice to lay low and stay here in the safety of
Right.
De La Solis for
Right.
the most part. So yeah, I think we'll at least wait until the next high storm comes before we actually depart.
That sounds like a good idea. Well, great. Eventually I'll find a place to put my tower down. You're welcome to stay there as well.
Oh,
But it's a lovely city if you haven't been here. It's more like a place of learning and peace. So,
those are two words that I greatly miss.
wonderful. Well, have a lovely time here. And if you need us, you know where to find us.
Thank you very much, and well, once again, the biggest thanks to you and of course your friends for helping us bring us back.
Of course.
Truly.
Roboti.
Something happened. Oh my god. Ah.
You're back,
Yeah.
I think.
Wait. No.
Check.
Ah, now I should be back.
Yes.
Yeah, she just says, the biggest thanks from us. I think we are indebted and all you have been able to do to us.
How I see it is, I would love to support a world with people like us who help each other and have good intent. And instead of being indebted to each other, we are just help out when needed.
And that's a great way to view this. Then I will think we will strive to helping you and supporting you in any way, in shape and form we can. Even when we are in a different country.
Perfect. Well, enjoy, and if you do need supplies, the Griffin's Feather is a lovely place.
Right, then I think that's we're probably gonna stop by next.
Wonderful. And besides that, I do have a couple messages fire out now that we're back on our plane, and to check in what other people are up to. And I think the first one will probably be to my mom. Yeah. It's not gonna be the funnest one, but I'll do it. So I'll send to her and say, "Good morning. I'm in Della Solis, working with Zephicus Silberstein and Godric Aquinos. It's enlightening. How are things at home? And have you word of Marcos?"
Okay. You get a response immediately. You hear your sweet mother's voice, who sounds exactly like Tanara because I only have one female voice. And she says, Fiera, so glad to hear your voice again. Things have been rough. The gate has been completely lost. Unfortunately, no news on Marcus. I'm glad that you are safe.
Boy. Well, she's still alive, so that's good.
Yeah, sanity's clock.
Yeah, this goes back a tick. Okay, and then I'll send a message to Vermin Goldstaup, who was the fellow in the arena I talked to.
Yep.
And teleported us here.
Okay.
And to him, I'll say, I've managed to remove the calyx from our world. My friends and I. Oh boy, how did I do that right? Mark removed and healed. How is yours?
You get a message back with a slight delay. Incredible. That is why it has disappeared. I have been doing my own research since in the sanguine arts. As the happenings in Zunaranir have piqued my interest quite heavily. That's it.
Oh boy, that's not good. Okay. Well, shucks, let's hope we don't run into him there. And then last message for now, I'll send one to Kendith Erkstein, the guy who was going to be Rena Peel's partner. To him, I'll say, good day, Kendith. I've grown a bit since our last meeting and witnessed magics considered miracles. Would you be open for a question of morality?
Question mark. Man, that's a nice way of phrasing it.
I was trying to think the wizardly of doing it.
Yeah. You get a response. However, you do not get a response from your sending. In fact, you receive a sending.
Oh boy, okay.
And
Okay.
you hear and you recognize it is the voice of Kendeth. And he says, gladly. Anywhere but the city you are in right now. When you leave it, I see you move quite often. We can discuss things.
Oh boy, okay. Well, that fills that thread. Oh, do I tell the others? Or do I do the Fiera thing? Oh, where's the responsibility at right now? He won't configure, that makes sense. Where can I teleport to? Hold. I think I can only go 2 places. How about Overmere tomorrow noon? We can meet for lunch.
You get a response? Since he's sending once again. It says, I find cities quite packed. When you're on the road again, I think would be a fitting time to have a nice talk in fresh air.
Okay, I'll leave that be for now, unless he says something else.
You have a response.
Yeah, I do. Right, that's how sending works when somebody else uses it. Hmm. I should have time to go for a walk outside city limits soon. We can meet at a safe distance.
You don't seem to leave any more endings.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. That's worrisome. But I'm sure I'll be fine. Okay. I think Fier's gonna think for a while about the threads converging there. And then eventually head to the archive to talk to O'Toole.
Mm-hmm. Very well. You return back to the archives, go through the process of getting into the Innenkreis, which is the center, to get to the Grand Librarium. Going through the big hall that makes up the upper portion of the Tower of Depth. The tower which is Zephyr's personal tower, but also the Great Library itself. See the big 4 statues that are located in the hall. And then step down the stairs, where you're once again meted with the kind of furry fellow that you have come to know as O'Toole, with his kind of tightly fit 3-piece suit. Yes, kind of looks at you from inside and says, Pierre, is it? It has been a long
I'm glad
time.
you remember. It's been way too long. Well, I'm hoping you're for a couple questions. Well, I just look around. Are there people around?
No, seems to be empty. Quite early in the
Okay.
morning.
Could you get a message to Zephyrus for me?
Of course I can.
Wonderful. Let him know that we found something interesting, and I'd like to know if either he or if he knows somebody that can perhaps trade with us, as we don't have immediate use for it, but I'm sure somebody does.
Yes, I have written inside of the calendar that you are to meet him at 4 o'clock.
Oh, I'm meeting with them both. Okay. Well, that'll be a good time to do that then. But how about a different question? I'm trying to solve something here. So, I kind of look at him up and down. Does he seem like a person or like a construct that is like operated to give a certain response. Like this, can I sense if he has will or if he's like programmed to give, you know?
Make an insight check, I guess.
Oh, insight. Okay.
Make an AI check.
Making AI.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
looking for
AI.
AI on this thing. What level is it? That's good for
14.
me.
It doesn't seem like auto-generated responses that he's giving. He seems to be reacting with a certain sense of emotional response, even though his
So
demeanor
there's emotion there, right?
very, very calm. Yeah. But you do
Okay.
sense something is off, but you can't quite put your finger on what it is.
That's exactly where I'm at, so that's perfect. So I've seen some people pass away lately.
I'm sorry to hear.
Thank you. I feel like one of them was okay not coming back. He served his purpose. Another, I think, was glad to be brought back as she has a bright future in front of her. And then a third who was brought back, and it was like fate dictated that she give her life to save her friends. I'm kind of wondering, would you want to be brought back if you were slain?
A very deep composing question that you're asking me. And I see that you're going through one of many steps one has to as a great arcane practitioner.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I myself do not see myself as living in the first place.
But you serve a purpose, you have a will, you have... Do you enjoy what you're doing?
Very much so.
So you have an existence.
That I do.
Don't you want to continue that existence? If you could?
Yes. I would not mind being slain. Just as much as I would not mind being brought back to life. I have been many times before already.
Interesting.
The difference between you and I is I am not singular.
I was wondering if it was your brother on the top floor.
You mean bottom floor?
But yes, sorry. I've been through a lot. This is good information. I need to sit down and think for a while. Do you mind if I wait here until the meeting?
Of course you can. Please have a seat. Do you wish to have some tea or coffee?
What does Fiera drink? Probably not coffee. Tea would be wonderful.
Very well. And you can sit down in the lounge, which is also the kind of spell transcribing section.
Yep.
And sit down there and kind of separate the room that exists inside of this lounge, and a floating hand serves you a bit of tea.
Did that come from... Did I see him cast Mage Hand?
Does anything, you're just sitting there, smiling.
Okay.
And that will bring us back to the other people after having purchased the alchemy jug, what is your plan now? I remember, Jade, you wish to look for something to buy, is that correct?
Yes, I wanted to get some powdered silver.
Mm-hmm. Powdered silver. Okay, I guess that's now more of a question. How much gold worth of powdered silver would you like to have?
Let me double look at it again. So it says 25 gold pieces is how much I need. So I would just say 50 gold worth.
Okay, yeah, you can easily buy that. They do sell it at the general store. It is a magical, no, not the magical general store, but a general store set inside of, you know, a school where a lot of magic practitioners are, and powdered silver is quite a common material component used, so it's easy enough to find 50 gold worth of powdered silver, so you can knock off 50 gold and add the powdered silver there. Anything else from the trio?
If I remember correctly, Jade, could you produce holy water?
Yes, which is why I wanted the powdered silver.
Okay.
Because in order to make it, I need 25 gold worth of powdered silver.
In that case, I will need some holy water if I want to be able to scry on people that may be looking for us.
Okay.
So I will also buy some powdered silver for you
Okay.
so that you can make some more.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so how much more am I adding?
Add in another 50 gold.
Okay, so 100 gold and
Yeah.
powdered sugar. Okay.
So you're paying for
And I just give you 5 platinum to
Yes, I would buy all.
Mhm.
So I would buy that. I started to add it on my character sheet, and then it like looked like it added it, but it didn't. So now I gotta. I wish they had just where I could like put in powdered silver, but they don't.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Would I have been able to find some tar from just some? I don't know, some alchemy shop or some blacksmith type place. I don't know.
Oh, you just were at the alchemy shop. I think. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Actually, yes, they would have some tar, or at least the ingredients to make it.
Yeah, just some kind of like sticky, flammable like concoction of.
Yeah. Let me look real quick at the. You can buy alchemist supplies, which allows you to kind of produce your own things that you want consistently.
I could do that, couldn't I? How much would that be?
75 gold pieces.
And I have hold on. I still have 30 platinum, so that's 300 gold. Yeah, I'll buy an alchemist supply kit.
Okay. And you can knock off 75 from there.
I would probably find like a general store or something to find a new pouch for my components.
Hmm.
And then I would buy whatever I need to buy to refill my components pouch.
Yep. That's for a new pouch. You can knock off 8 silver. And for the to refill it again.
I think it was like 5 gold or something,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It was either 5 or 10, I don't remember.
Yeah. Component pouch. Ah, here it is. Oh, actually, no, it's a bit more expensive. It would be 38 gold right now.
Oh, okay. That will do. I will do that.
Okay.
This. All right, I am quite poor now. So, if y'all are not done shopping, I'll let you go ahead, and I'm just gonna head to the archives and start up on some research.
I'm good. I need some time to settle down now, so
I would follow you to the archive.
Okay.
let's go.
Then wait, are you going to Eirik? Get that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I need time to process everything, so we're gonna just go and go to the safety of the archive.
Okay. You then all walk there, and then see Fiera chilling, and you would also be greeted by O'Toole as you arrive to say,
Eirik, and Isoel.
O'Toole, it's great to see you.
It has been a while.
It has been.
Well, I am glad to see you safe and back here again. I see you have brought a friend.
Jade Nightlock.
She works for Zephygus actually, so it's a great addition to the team.
I see. It is a pleasure to meet you, Jade. My name's
I
Otto.
just bow.
Well, you three with Fiera are invited to a meeting with Master Zephygus at 4.
Oh right. And what time is it right now?
right now it would be like I would say like 12 afternoon.
Alright.
We would then have some time to perhaps start looking at some things we wanted to research.
Yes.
Do you have a way to maybe warn us that the meeting is approaching and that we should perhaps get ready for Master Zephygus? I would hate to make him wait.
You shall meet him at the lowest level of this tower in his personal chambers. The necklaces that I will supply you so you can access it We'll give you a sign and
Oh,
teleport you there. As they
wonderful
usually do
then.
to teleport you out in case you break any of the rules.
That is great then. I guess that gives us a couple hours to get a head start on whatever research we want to do.
Yes,
What do you think, guys?
Sounds
Sure.
like a good use of time.
Got stuff to look at, so
Yeah. Oh yeah, we have some stuff to look at, just a little bit.
Then I wish you all good luck in your research.
And he just kind of takes out 4 necklaces and just kind of brandishes them on the table, each for you to pick up, and they are platinum. So you have access to all 9 layers. And that is where we're going to take a quick break. Yes, quite a calm episode, especially always when O'Toole makes his appearance. So yeah, we're gonna see you guys in a quick second. Bye. And we are back, and I'm being assaulted by a fruit fly. God damn it.
oh god.
Where did you come
I
from?
hate those.
I do. And I haven't been in my apartment for an entire week, so where the fuck did he come from? I do not know. Anyways, unimportant matters of my personal life shall now be replaced by important D&D matters, which is what you guys wanna research. Going around
Oh
the
my
table.
gosh.
So you can set a certain amount of time you wish to do the research. The longer you choose to research something, the lower the DC gets. Obviously, because you're spending more time, so you have a higher chance of success of finding out whatever you want. And you kind of know you have like around 4 hours, so you can choose to kind of separate these 4 hours into chunks of time that you wish to spend on one researching one topic. And like I said, the higher or the more hours you choose to research on a specific topic will increase the chances of finding anything yielding better results. That's kind of how this works. So yeah, Eirik.
All right. Out of the 4 hours, I would like to spend 3 of those hours doing research on Tiamat and Daracon Knights.
Interesting. The second thing you also have to mention is which layer you wish to research this
Yep.
at.
I would start off for, let's just say, half of that time at least in the ancient history section in the gold layer.
Mm-hmm. All right. And what would... Yeah, I guess you can just roll an investigation check then for that.
I'll throw a +5 to that, hoping that that'll
Okay.
give me some extra boost.
Yes. Then I think we'll just first go around the table to just kind of see what everyone wants to do, and then I would go through the specifics of each individual role. So 28, remember that because I probably have to ask again. Fiera, what would you like to?
I don't know where this is gonna be at, so I might actually just ask O'Toole at the front desk if he recommends I just go all the way down to the bottom to start with or not. I just I'm looking for information. Then I look around the library to see if there's anybody besides our group. Okay. About something called denominator seals that have to do with the High Store and others of his kind, I believe.
You mean Dominator? See,
Dominator Sears, not denominator. Yeah,
I
Dominator
was
Sears.
like,
Yes.
it's something I
Yeah. So
said.
I was thinking math.
Yeah. Okay. Dominator Seals is what you said, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
And I would use this all the time until the meeting for this.
Okay. He would say. Wait, let me pick one.
And if he needs more information, I can, tell him slightly about what I've learned about the pantheons and how this is, they're scions of someone called Aetherius, and they're the denominators, and this is their names.
He will say. This sounds like angelic war stuff. So I might recommend going straight to the 9th section.
I assume so. Just wanted to check to make sure I didn't walk past it. I had to come back. That'd be embarrassing. But thank you so much.
You might find some luck in the 8th section as well. If you have the time to spare.
Well, maybe I could split my time between the two. Thank you. Actually, can I just would be open to a hug?
We haven't seen each other. So yes.
Go for it. You're just so comfortable.
I get that a lot.
Okay. And I'll head down to the 8th then.
Okay, then you can make an investigation check.
Okay, come on. 15. And I'm not gonna do anything. It'd be 15.
Yeah, ISOL.
Yes. Sorry. I will spend 3 hours doing some research on the Tree of Power, and I will go straight to the 8th level.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
One.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Okay. And last but not least, Jay. Oh, you're muted.
My bad. So I don't remember exactly the floors, and I can't find my notes, so they're probably with Arya's notes, and I don't know where they are.
Well, I mean, Jade probably doesn't know the layout of the archives, right?
Yeah. So I would go to our friend at the front, and I would ask him about, so, hi, do you guys have, like, areas that have, like, family history or anything about the ravine?
It depends which family you're trying to research. If it's only the ravine itself, there's a section for. After burp, excuse me. Also never burps. He's a pristine thing. He says, there's a section for geographical locations. You can search there if you wish.
And then my name in particular is Nightlock. I'm trying to find any information about like my ancestors or anything like that.
Then maybe you can start off at. Let me see. Maybe the second layer. There are many books about history of political families, countries, and other related topics. Maybe your family is listed within there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your help. So I would spend like a couple hours in the geography section looking into the ravine and see if it talks about like anything about like the attack that happened there. So I'd spend a couple hours there, and then I would spend a couple hours on the second layer looking at like the family histories, trying to see if there's anything like how my family, like any like tactics that they might have used to defend themselves or anything like that.
Okay, then you can also make a agent check.
I'm going to give myself guidance. 'Cause
Good idea.
Oh, I forgot. I
idea.
can't do that.
You
No.
technically you can pre-prep spells in the lounge. That was allowed. So before you go in, and since you're at the lounge and before you go in, you can technically cast guidance. So I will in this
Okay.
instance allow it.
Okay.
But I don't need-
You have 1 minute to get to where you want to go. Clock starts now.
I just run.
Yeah. Okay, then this is 13. So we will start off, I think, with the lowest number, which is 13. And how much time did you say you're gonna spend? Sorry, I forgot.
A couple hours.
So from the 4, how much? 2?
2.
Okay. Yeah, you walk down to the second layer, and you then also see immediately a map layout of the 9 layers of the archives, which kind of quickly describe what is in each layer. So you now get a brief overview, and as Otola stated in the second one, it's like main history of the Saphire Plain and of, you know, prominent political families and stuff like that. You kind of run around trying to... So you can search specifically, and just reminding you, you would obviously know it as Jade Nightlock, or maybe not as Felicia, which is, there's your surname, Jade Nightlock, and then there's also the one of your tribe specifically, which is
yeah. So
Xing. So that's the name of your tribe.
yes, I would look there.
Okay, because your father, I believe, was a drow and your mother was a Sharakai, which is why you have a drow surname instead of the Sharakai one. Just because you would be aware of that. So yeah, researching, even with a 13, you would find under some of the military political families and things that have happened in the history of Azathia specifically, is through the discovery of a tribe with the name of your tribe, Guoshan Xing, that a contract and a alliance has been built with them and the Kampfgruppe family, who's head of the military, who then made this alliance to kind of oversee and protect the ravine from any threats that emerge from it. And so this was kind of a binding moment between both the High Elves, Drow, and the newly discovered Chadakai, who prominently settled within the ravine, or more accurately spoken, never left the ravine in the first place. So there's one mention of it, but you have a hard time finding any specifics of your family itself. It often gets overshadowed by the more modern political things that have happened in the time once they have met, and how the hierarchy has been built up, and they have been kind of included within the military hierarchy as, you know, expert scouts of the ravine, and they kind of received their own territory in the kind of political landscape. So it's kind of like they own the ravine in quotation marks, and they can consider it their county or their fief if you wish, but no specifics there. It is often mentioned that the kind of hierarchy of society remained the same for the tribe and hasn't changed, or they haven't adapted to the kind of dynasty of Azathia, but that's as deep of intel you get into your family itself. There isn't even a name mentioned who the former leader of your tribe was that greeted the Kampfgruppe, and the Kampfgruppe is put more into the highlights of the books that you have at least read. So that's as much as good. But there is documentation about your family yourself, and it seems like they're heavily connected with the ravine itself. So this is kind of leading you down the road of maybe researching more specifically into kind of maybe things that they specifically have done for Azathia that might lead you into a direction where they might tell you more about what your tribe has done, instead of like the political interaction with one of the main dynasty families. Or you have to go a little bit deeper and kind of research the history of the ravine itself, because a few times it was hinted that the Shadakai stayed in the ravine, which kind of always indirectly referred to that at some point people came from there, but they were one of the people that stayed there, and that might also lead you in a direction where you get more information about them specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. Then that's 2 hours spent there. 15, Fiera, you were looking specifically for Dominator seals.
Yes. Would have been 2 hours in section 8.
Yep. 2 hours in section 8, looking for Dominator seals. You don't find a lot, specifically in terms of seals and stuff. You do see the name Dominators referred quite often in like sections that deal with the Angelic War, and they kind of state that they were the main powers of the Draconic army and the Draconian Imperium specifically, which were the ones who the angels fought, and supposedly through the dogmas of Holy Legionnaires have wiped out, though remnants of their powers are obviously visible, and the one predominant one that is kind of who some have confirmed to be the Storm Dominator still rules over the continent of the Saphire Plain. There, you would, with a 15, discover what you already know. There are 7 said Dominators, each one belonging to one of the respective elements that kind of exist and can be nurtured or wielded through magic, and that they are kind of each like elemental beings representing the very element that they're kind of composed out of. So the storm obviously is a storm, wind is wind, fire is fire, and that they used to be the kind of rulers of the countries of the Draconian Imperium. That is as much as you get there. And the other things you also get is that they have been kind of lost to time, since Holy Legionnaires have kind of wiped out all Draconic remnants. It is believed that, you know, they died with the information that the Holy Legionnaires kind of got rid of, and that they are a thing from the past, except for the Storm Dominator.
What years was like the Imperium?
Before the Angelic War. Everything before the Angelic War, it was the Draconian Imperium, and after the Angelic War, they were defeated. and got wiped out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Then we go to Iceral. 21
Yes.
investigation on the Tree of Power. And which layer were you again?
I went to the 8th layer,
Mhm.
and I wished to spend 3 hours on it.
Okay. Yeah, you go there in the ancient history section and you look, and funnily enough, the first book that kind of grabs your attention is like the origins of spellcrafting. And first it's like you kind of glance over it, however there's like a subtitle that kind of reads in the veins of lending power through the seed of power, and you're like, okay, kind of looks similar, and then you go towards it and then flip it open, and then it's a kind of a book that deals with the investigation of the origins of magic, whether it's just an innate part of reality or if it was kind of gifted to the world through some otherworldly or godly means. Since there always have been debates between, divine casted magic and arcane casted magic, or are they actually the same, or are they two completely separate things, or whatever that may be. And it explores the different laws that often get taught by different parts of societies and religions, and just groups that use divine magic and arcane magic. And then it often kind of the two main ideas or actually three ideas that exist is first the religious, that it's a god-given power to the world, and that it has been lended and taught to Chaldean kind, which, reminder, Chaldean just refers to all humanoid beings. That arcane is nothing more than the manipulation of divine magic, and that priests can directly harbor and use divine magic through their connection to the divine. Then there's the one thought that it is separated, that there is an innate arcane weave that exists, and that is kind of just ever present, just like gravity in the world, that if you learn its ways you can tap through. But there also exist higher beings who have innately been blessed with magic, from whom you can lend magic, but they are separate from the weave itself. And then there's a other one that states that there's a source of magic that came to the lands and kind of gave everything its magical source. And that is often where the druidic roots come from, that there was this tree of power that kind of sprung from a seed. Tree, very metaphorically used, because it's a sign of the druids, and that it kind of created these strands across the entire world, which are the world tree's roots, as it's often stated in the druidic circles, and that encompasses or is the weave itself, and has given everything its magical power, and that is often preached by the druids. None of the three theories, as for now, have been kind of proven, though there's a very heavy implication through the existence of the Feywild, which is said to be the very fabric of the branches of the Tree of Power. That is supposedly the evidence that it is like a Tree of Power that does exist. However, that doesn't really explain how divine beings came to be and how they are able to lend their power, and in which way or shape or form does arcane magic then manipulate the Tree of Power if you use arcane magic, and how are you able to, or how does an individual learn to control this if it doesn't innately or isn't innately connected to a person, for instance. And that's kind of what you get there, these three big topics about the Tree of Power. And then we go to Eirik. Was it 28 for what was the first thing you wanted to do again?
Tiamat and the
Okay.
Daracon Knight.
Okay, and you also went to the 8th layer.
Yeah.
You find a very crippled old book on the study of the times before. It seems to be like an ancient lore book that deals with the kind of prehistoric events even before the angels and the dragons started a war. And immediately you can see a lot of heavy religious tones being kind of spread within this book itself, and it deals with the history specifically of the Lichnius Biblicum and how it came to be. And first you're like dissuaded or uninterested, but for some reason you commit to just reading it, because things get mentioned here that kind of spark your memory that you have actually encountered in hell itself, how the sin of man has brought about a war through which man, or now Chaldean kind, is forced to repent for forever because of the sin that was committed. And then it is specifically stated that in the lore of a old version of the Lichnius Biblicum, kind of states that a war ensued between mankind. Back then it was humankind, not Chaldean kind, and the creators themselves, and that during this war some of the kind of chosen ones from the gods actually switched sides and joined the humans in their battle against their creators. One of the names mentioned, and which is why dragons themselves are kind of disdained by the Holy Lichnius, is Tiamat, who was said to be mother of all chromatic dragons, which then kind of fought against the gods and has still put herself as a great evil in this world for the destruction that she has brought by kind of, waging war against her own kind. And that's kind of the extent to where you are able to see this name, and is mentioned nowhere else. Literally only in this instance that she partook in the war, which is often referred to as the war of the first sin, and that he chose to kind of switch sides. And it would also be in this book where you would also find things about Daracon Knights, which is dragons developed a way to infuse some of their soul into a human being to lend them their power, to have a greater connection with a chosen knight who kind of becomes a avatar for them. And basically there's a relationship between patron and knight, that the knight then can use some of the dragon's power to kind of lend or support them, or other way around, through which the will of the dragon can then be brought through the through the knight. And this usually, and they kind of, it describes it in a very like evil cultistically way how they used to do it, where the heart of the dragon had to be kind of be infused into the chosen individual that is supposed to become the Daracon Knight. So they get tainted by evil power, which is draconic power, to kind of do the evil biddings of the dragon that has chosen them.
Is there any information about sort of famous Daracon Knights of history, like I kind of like celebrity type individuals that are known to be Daracon Knights, or is it like a secret thing that people don't know about?
No, this seems more like ancient lore where it's could just as well be fable than actual fact, so there aren't any names written there. It's like the many angelic knights that also are numerously mentioned within these stories that are also nameless, that just are stated to have taken place in this time. You probably would have thought that these are just ancient stories or legends that have just been, written for entertainment if you would not have witnessed it first hand in hell. Everything seems kind of over the top. So yeah, it is more described as, when in the Bible they talk about the Tower of Babel, there aren't really specific names that are mentioned unless it's like the king or the guy who like said to build the tower. However, any famous generals, knights or stuff that existed in that time are completely left out, aren't mentioned. They just say Tiamat, who was kind of the main mother leading this, and then her followers and what her followers did to gain more followers, but they all were cursed and banished and killed. Kind of that sort of thing is going on there. So it's not like the actual factual thing, it's more like a religious telling of the time before.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. So you have an hour left. You can wish to spend that doing any more research. And once again, just because you have gotten information out about the subject that you've just researched, doesn't mean you have gotten everything. You can still continue to research, and then you will also get more. So yeah, we just go around. Eirik, you have 1 hour left. So anything in particular, or are you just gonna let it seep in?
I am going to spend 30 minutes. Do I want to? No, I'll stay in the 8th level, the ancient history. I want to spend 30 minutes just quickly glancing through some stuff to see if I can find anything about the land masses that we saw outside of the High Storm or the Everstorm when we were doing our transition to Hell.
Okay.
And then the other 30 minutes on the way up through Silver, I'll just stop in the Modern Arcana section, and I want to just look for anything about like modern sort of ammunition, magical ammunition that can be used for like battles and warfare kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Then come again. That's Fiera.
I'll throw another +5 into that because I want to find something big.
A new map of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty sweet.
in 30 minutes.
The first book you find.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll go to the 9th and look for the same thing, just Dominator Seals.
Okay, yeah, you can look for that. Make an investigation check.
Yeah, right, give me above 10. Okay.
25, dang. Yeah. Then Isoel.
Yes. I am going to stay in the same vein here, still looking for old research there. So I'm staying kind of in the same section that I am, and still kind of looking for stuff about the Tree of Power, but also anything that would talk about Servalon and the Tree of Power, or Servalon about the Tree of Power, like something that could maybe like relate the two of them together some way. But that's what I would do for that last hour that I have.
Okay. Yeah. Make an investigation.
Come on, don't disappoint. Yeah. Not the best.
Best, definitely. Yeah. Then last but not least, Jade.
So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to the 8th floor for the ancient history. And I'm going to be looking at the ravine history and the history of how the Shatterkai, like how they've always been there.
Okay. Yeah, make an investigation.
I feel like that might give me hopefully more results than what just basic stuff is giving me.
Yeah.
All right, look, you can do it, Felicia.
Let's go.
No.
Aw.
This is one of my weakest things, okay? I am not a very smart individual.
Yeah, some downsides have to be there. Well, that's easy enough. We're gonna start with you. Going down further, kind of lose track of time and getting a bit overwhelmed with the amount of books there. And you haven't really been educated on how to properly search for information, because that in itself is an art to kind of know which hints or piece of information that can guide you into the right direction to find the right book. It's kind of lost on you, and you just stumble your way through all of these numerous thick pieces of books that have retellings of a lot of history, and in one of these pages maybe there's information about your family, but you just aren't able to find it, unfortunately. So you kind of spend a reminder going through a lot of empty words that unfortunately do not mean much to you. In a similar vein, kind of happens to you as well. It's more like you find information, but it's stuff you already know. You know, it's Avalon. Some people believe he is the Tree of Power. Some people believe, you know, Keeper of Land. It's more like an avatar from the Tree of Power and stuff like that. Stuff you already know, basically. So, yeah, unfortunately, you aren't able to find anything in the 8th layer at that point of time.
I probably end up stumbling into Jade, and we're both frazzled and being like, what the hell?
It's like, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we come to Fiera as you go to the 9th layer, which is, of course, very different from all other layers. It's the room that is shaped like a decagon, or decigon. I forgot how to pronounce it. Doesn't matter. And there are these 10 doors on each side, and the kind of second O'Toole sitting in the middle. And you just have to ask him where you would like to go. You would choose. Actually, you have the choice. There's a door for ancient history and a door for angelic war.
Ooh. Oh. Angelic war. My thought is that they weren't killed, they were probably sealed, and that's kept secret. That probably would have happened during the war. So let's go that way.
Alright. And with a 25, you do immediately find an entire book dedicated to the history of the Dominators and what has happened to them specifically. And the notes seem to be quite recent, actually. It was recent, like a few years, like 10, 15 years. And it states that the Dominators were indeed the rulers of the 7 countries that used to occupy the continent of Ilianus, which is now known as the Saphire Plain.
Okay.
It seems like the continent that you have been living on was the Draconian Imperium that has been taken over by the Angels, who came from a different continent that is to the east of the Ilianus. And there were 7 great nations listed as Kalor, Duratus, Fulgur, Mundus, Mardor, Alitura, and Eurus that belonged to the Dominators, which you should already know the names of: Nyx Pruina, Zephyrus, Tempestas, Terra, Torrens Ignois, Silvus, and Lympha, who acted as kings or emperors of each of those countries, and that they clashed in the with the kind of Watchers during the Angelic War, and a fought brought out. However, one thing that is newly mentioned, and that is written quite thickly inside of this book, was heavily emphasized, is that the dragons won the war, and that it was the angels who died out and not the Dominators. However, through reasons unknown, the Dominators decided to seal themselves away, and with their power they created the Everdome that surrounds the entire continent of the Draconian Empire, as there's a theory that is written inside of there that a bigger threat for some reason appeared that forced them to create this dome to protect themselves and their own kind. So the big things that I noted here is that all Dominators are still alive and are indeed sealed away, except for the Storm Dominator. That is kind of keeping the land safe. But it's also mentioned that the probability that all Watchers have died is extremely high, since there are no remnants able to be found that their existence or presence are still there.
Yeah. Interesting. Poor Kai. All I could think this entire time. This is Kai's story. It's right here. Am I able to get, like, does the book mention which piece of the Saphire Plain belong to which elemental?
Yeah, it would say it. And it's somewhat obvious if you look just at the geographical structure that there are hints of of their presence that is kind of still witnessed. Obviously Luthera belonged to the Ice Dominator. Surprise. Actually, let me just put on the continent.
I actually think I have this in my campaign notes, but might as well repeat.
So we'll just take you to the world map, and I will also take the players here, so you actually have a change of vision on your faces. So, Luthera, belonging to, or Duratus, the Empire of Ice, belonging to Nyxbruina. Here. Heems, being Fulgur, Empire of Lightning, which you probably don't understand right now, at least. Collis, being Mundus, Empire of Earth, belonging to Terra because of the large mountain ranges. Yeshimon, being Kalor, Empire of Fire, belonging to Torrens Ignois. Kanan, being Eurus, Empire of Wind, belonging to Zephyr, I believe is his name. Yeah, Zephyrus. Yeah, Zephyrus.
Yep.
Azathia, obviously being Alitura, Empire of Nature, belonging to Silvus. And Talus, belonging to the Empire of Water, Mardor, the Lympha Dominator.
Okay. And is there any mention of where the seals are or how they are represented?
I see what you're getting at. Yes. Was it 25? That's definitely high enough. Is that it seems like they have entrusted the seals to unlock them to priests of their empire before they sealed themselves away in keys that look like small hammers.
Interesting.
I wonder what they look like.
Yes. How are we going to get the one at the bottom of the ocean? Okay. Then lastly, is there any note? Is this a Zephygus book? Is there an author?
It seems like just a bunch of notes compiled together that make it up. And since it's in Zephygus' personal archives, you highly presume these are things that he has collected. But
Right, so he took bits and pieces, and this is his culmination of notes.
Yeah, is what you assume.
Does he have notes somewhere he thinks the keys might be?
I think he has not written it down here. No.
Okay.
It doesn't.
Okay.
The location of them have not been written here. Yeah.
Okay.
That is
Good stuff.
it there. And last but not least, Eirik was a 33. What was the first thing? Oh yeah, a map.
Well, yeah, just anything about the land masses we saw outside of the Everstorm.
Yeah. Like the first books I just like quickly grab about the subject just state it's like almost impossible to kind of see or witness things beyond the Everstorm just because of its, density of magic and sheer physical force as well. That made it difficult. However, you just take a random book out and you discover that a old map torn and burned to pieces has been in fact found that seems to be showcasing more than just the continent itself, and it looks a little bit like this.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Oh, it's so old and torn.
Yeah, let's get,
Oh shit.
gotta zoom in
That
on
is so cool though.
Oh my
shit.
god.
Oh shit.
Holy shit.
Oh
It
my
always
God.
just amazed me the things that Jack has like for his world.
We are literally scratching the surface. This is an iceberg. This is the tip.
Yeah, I definitely did not expect you to. But man, a 32, you're gonna get something juicy.
That's cool.
Oh my
Oh, boy.
god.
Yeah, we have like 8 late game quests right now. What are we gonna do? Oh.
And
Uh,
This is major.
yeah. I'm going to take note of every detail about this book. Who wrote it, what section it's in, what shelf it's on, what page I found this in, every little bit of detail that I can remember about this book so we can come back to this, because I don't have enough time to sit here and try to copy what I see on this map.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Definitely note down that, put it back. You probably do like the librarian thing of placing it in an obscure place so only you can find it so no one else takes it.
That's a good idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the other, even though my players understand, we do continue on, which is your search for ammunition and types of ammunition.
Yeah, just sort of new age, new technology, ammunition that can be used in, like, what kind of mechanical weapons have been made, and
a bunch of new ways of mechanics have been developed over the course of the past centuries and times that utilize different magical properties and just physical properties. The most physical properties are like explosives and stuff like that to kind of put things that are known to ignite very easily and just attach it to the end of an arrow to kind of invoke that. There have also been developments of just creating straight elemental arrows themselves, so you don't have to waste any materials to kind of construct each arrow and stuff like that, to kind of fire elemental projectiles at enemies. The most mechanically things are kind of like how's it called? Like one of them is a what's the name again? Jesus Christ! It's a infernal sea. Wait. Let me find the right name. Yes, here let's go. It's a infernal siege spiral rocket, which is a rocket that basically acts as an RPG, which is you shoot it, it kind of first enters the physical barrier, and then a kind of infernal or fire-based second explosion is triggered, which creates a hole through a burst of spiraling flame, which is basically like a penetrative way of kind of creating a hole in a wall, which is used for siege tactics, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think you would kind of somewhat remember this, because this was one of the things that was developed in Yeshimon, also in the time that you were working there. So this definitely seems like, you know, racking your brain, you could probably build one of these, especially with the materials you have now. As a possibility. And yeah, stuff like that. That's probably the most prominent thing that peeks to your mind, because you have a lot of fire stuff at your disposal.
Nice. Good. I will run back to find somebody.
And as you're all trying to run back to where you are, as the 4-hour mark comes to end and it becomes 4 o'clock. Oh man. Each of you, whether or not you find yourself, get warped into an empty room. An empty room made out of white, clear, seemingly marble walls. There doesn't seem to be a door inside of this room. However, there do seem to be 6 chairs and a simple round table in the center, and one of the chairs seems to be occupied by none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Zephyrus. He's just kind of sitting there. He has like a book in front of him with the spectacles, but as soon as you arrive, he just kind of lifts it, and then it just disappears. It just fades.
Oh, title.
Make a perception check.
Come on, Fiona, this is your chance.
Isorel is just going to bow her head and Master Zephyrus, it's very good to see you.
As I stumble over myself to try to... Oh.
Disappears. You do not see what the title of this book was.
Next time. Yes, thank you for this meeting. Very appreciative.
Yes, I am actually myself quite interested in the endeavors you have been through the last few days since you have departed from my confines. I am very confident that you have experienced some peculiar things, and it is of great interest to myself to document maybe things that I myself would be surprised of that you personally experienced.
Well, I think that can definitely be done.
As much as we went there on a mission to retrieve an object, we actually learned a lot of things while we were there.
From the scent that you returned with, I could and a bit of faint traces of magical ore that you have been carrying. I believe that you indeed have returned from hell, is this correct?
Yes, that is absolutely correct.
Quite interesting. Well, is there anything noteworthy you'd like to impart?
I think the most time-sensitive thing to know is that hell has been infiltrated by the Holy Blood Order, or vice versa, whichever
one
came
level.
first. Yeah.
They were guarding the way out to
Yeah.
prevent
To
people
this-
like
yeah.
this from stopping them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting indeed.
And in that moment, you also see apparating in front is the old form of High Cleric Godric as Aquinos kind of stumbles inside.
I see the meeting has already begun, even without me. Very well. Excuse an old man to take his seat. Nice to see you, Godric. I have invited these as I think they have relevant information and experiences that they are going to share with us. Reminds me of the good old days, eh? To a certain degree.
Kind of walks towards one of the chairs and sits down.
So, I believe it was you, Fiera, that also contacted me.
Right. I guess my first intent was to see whether or not you were aligned with us, but as we're still alive and you don't seem hostile, I think that means you're not working with the Unholy Blood Order.
Oh. That would be quite a twist, wouldn't it be, Zephyrus? I think I would have known even before you would. Yes, no, definitely do not belong to those folk, indeed.
Right. Just want to make sure. We've made a number of enemies along with allies, so. Well, how about a quick rundown? And I guess take a seat. Probably nearest to them if I can.
Sure.
And then I'll just kind of spiel our journey since they last saw us. Meeting the first light bearer.
Bearer.
Oh,
Yeah.
bear. First light bear. And then him allowing us to traverse to hell. Then us not knowing the place whatsoever and kind of fumbling along for a while. Dealing with devils. Having to make a deal with the devils to save friends on a couple occasions. And then eventually somewhat befriending them. But being led to the Lake of Atonement. Figuring our way through the Lake of Atonement. And then meeting the those legionnaires that tried to kill us. Then meeting the emissary, and then emissary leading us to Eve, and then climbing Eve and touching the spear.
Okay.
Which led us back to Sonanir.
Yeah. As you're kind of retelling the story, he does take notes. Punches up a different blank piece of paper and then kind of scribbles around while Godric kind of just nods slowly and inquisitively.
Through Fiera's telling of our adventure, I want to keep a close eye on Godric and see if I can sense, like, if he's surprised by anything, if he seems guarded. You know, I'm trying to get a general read on his demeanor as we recount, as Fiera recounts, like, everything that happened.
Yeah, come make an insight check.
I'm good at that. Don't fail me.
Ooh, natural 20.
There it is.
Nothing.
There it is.
Kind of high for us.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, having been fooled one too many times, you're like, not again. Not again. They might seem good, but you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like a genuinely kind man, first and foremost. It's definitely not a spiel that he's like putting up to act nice or stuff like that. You know that he has seen some shit, which comes in waves of, as you were telling this, he sometimes chuckles in a way where he's like, Ah, that sounds familiar. I've been there. That he kind of nods, but he does like sometimes has like a surprising eyebrow raise, and other things where it seems like as if a theory he was crafting has proven itself correct, especially in the mention of, first of all, the whole hell endeavor. He's like, actually, before that, one thing he seems extremely surprised about is that the first light bearer was kind of the guardian to the tree. There he seemed like kind of stumped off. It's like, oh dang. Seemed to be taken completely by surprise. But as soon as it gets with the hell things, kind of chuckles a bit how you dealt with the devils. But the names you mention each time, he just kind of nods to himself as like, okay, that's correct. Okay, that's correct. Okay, that's correct. As if, he did a test beforehand to see whether or not, his information was correct, and it's kind of just confirming all of the things that he has already believed. There is a slight sense of concern that you can clearly read on his face as you continue to state like what that the Holy Blood Order has been able to infiltrate, and that they are meddling with hell itself, and where his attention is like mainly focused towards these pieces of information, what the Holy Blood Order has been doing there, which is then also kind of the question that he then asks as soon as you finish telling the story, as he then asks,
have you been able to maybe ascertain any information on what their purpose was there in the first place?
Purpose. Eirik, I think you heard, right? There was a mention of. I thought it was a dead seed grows, but you said there's a scroll?
Yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, the priest mentioned that the Dead Sea Scroll cannot be stopped. And it mostly seemed they were just collecting as much blood as possible.
Does the name Sir Isaac Weldiger mean anything to you?
Oh my god, I've got to remind myself.
Me too, apparently.
I have it in my notes. It's noted right there. I wanted to ask someone from the Holy Lichness about this person, and I have the best person for this right in my face.
I have it as well. Why did I write this down, though?
It is the half-naked man with broken/cut wings on his back that was accompanying the Crusaders.
He was a lieutenant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lieutenant, yeah.
Okay.
The lieutenant. Lieutenant Isaac Weldiger.
Yeah, no, they just kind of look inquisitively and say,
No, that name, unfortunately, that's not ring any familiarity. However,
and I will actually give you this for natural 20. At the mention of the Dead Sea Scrolls, their eyes widen tremendously. Even the squinty eyes of these two old men, you can see that they reach a state where they seem to be open to a normal state, and then they squint again.
Also, I think this ties in. Have you heard? I have to go back to my blood notes for this one. Calyx Everdamned. There. I think there's a connection with a town that was cursed a while back by Xerxes Kivith.
Exactly. Well, I believe it is now time to indoctrinate you in what is the larger game at hand. Yes.
I think we're well a part of it, yes.
Well,
Yeah.
Isorel is just like me. She's just holding her head right now. She's just like, like, yeah, a bit overwhelmed.
truth be told, I know both of us have quite the big reputation. I think we can say that without trying to seem like we are bragging. I think you would all agree that Mrs. Efficacious, well, has a bigger renown than I myself. However, there are some people even beyond our capabilities to grasp or catch, if one can believe that. One of said individuals is the one you have just mentioned. Xerxes Kirith is an incredibly dangerous individual. We have been trying for years to get anything on him, and we have been unsuccessful so far.
You make it sound like he's still alive.
Oh, he most definitely is. And that brings us to the, well, second topic, which is the Dead Sea Scrolls. I'll let Zephyrus explain. I'm not too well versed inside of myself. Yes, it is a theoretical piece of text that is said to exist. And we only know of this of the few notes that we were able to get or found on Xerxes. That there exists a text that states the absolute truth of seemingly everything. What this means, what power this holds, we do not know. You dabble with reality, Fiara. Is that correct?
I do, however, I try to do it responsibly and to a small degree, as I am fully aware that things can get out of hand quite quickly.
Yes, quite responsible of you to think that way. And you, Jade, I know you have been newly enlisted in this endeavor, but I believe you have a task sent by your mistress herself to investigate a
Yes.
specific topic. Is this correct?
Yes, that is correct.
I think we can all trust each other within this room. Would you like to tell us this topic that you have been told to investigate?
Wait, I don't think I can. Is Zephygus one of the people that can give me permission?
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the people that can give you permission.
I was like, wait, I don't think so. Okay. So it's kind of complicated, but there's this thing called omens. And my group, from the Vanspire, as you guys all know, deal with shadow magic. Well, we believe that omens are made, and they were trying to figure out if the destruction that comes with them or that creates the omen, is it something that they can pick themselves or is it random? And we believe Calyx was an omen.
Yes, omens are a mystery to everyone as far as we're concerned. Their appearance, their consequence, even the predictions, everything surrounding them is a void of knowledge. We have found nothing.
I mean, I remember when we first met Calyx, he kept talking about the blood moon and how that was going to like change everything or something along those lines. I don't remember like on top of my head exactly what he meant, but he just kept talking in these figures of like, when on the next blood moon, and it sounded
right.
very omany
I
in
can
the way he was talking.
see what he said. When the sky is painted red and the moon starts to bleed,
Yeah.
the crimson lunar eclipse will hold for me all the things I truly need. And when the scarlet rain hits the earthen floor, I shall rise again to hunt once more.
That sounds very much like an omen.
That very much so is an omen. Here's the problem. As I stated, some people are elected omen creatures. They come into our worlds and they bring forth an omen. The thing we do not understand is what or how they are created, or what makes one elected as one, and whether or not the omen creature can choose the omen. The only thing we know with absolute certainty is that when an omen appears and says their omen, it will happen. So, as stated before, it is a truth that is inevitably going to happen. So we believe that this might be connected to the Dead Sea Scrolls, as it's believed to state everything, or the truth of absolutely everything. But even the existence of the Dead Sea Scrolls itself is highly theoretical. And this brings us to our last thing, and why I have mentioned the dabblings that you are going into, Fiera, and how it connects to Xerxes. If anyone has access to said Dead Sea Scrolls, we believe Xerxes is one of the people. Not only that, in the one encounter that I had with him, he proclaims to have written his name in something referred to as the Book of Death.
Perfect.
And this is where things get a little bit interesting. With the few friends that I managed to make who dabble with shadowmancy, and there are only a few, a weird thing happens with Xerxes. It is that all realities form a singularity around him. Meaning, wherever he is, whatever he does, is the only reality that exists. The great infinity that we believe to first exist with shadowmancy is reduced to a single one of wherever he goes. Meaning, if you encounter Xerxes, every other reality that exists of you merges into the one reality that encounters him. Which means, if you get killed by Xerxes, every single reality of you dies. So, that confirmed one theory, and that is the vast shadow weave, unfortunately, is not infinite.
Can I present an idea? I made a friend along our journey in hell. One piece of advice he gave me was that blood fuels the terrors, and they are collecting blood. And from it, something will rise. So what if what's going to rise is something akin to the serpent
Are you referring to the serpent that caused the War of the First Sin?
That, or something underneath them that maybe works for them or has similar interests.
That might.
Because they seem to like to use the lure of power to manipulate people.
That might be true. We also believe that they are wishing for a war to collect more blood.
Godric then also says,
Yes, it has been quite the struggle to pinpoint exactly maybe what the necessary components are to whatever they wish to do, since it's a bit unclear on what they are trying to achieve. We also believe they are definitely collecting blood for some purpose, to awaken or do something. There's also the history of the Angelic War, which was a big war that occurred thousands of years ago, which also spelled the disaster of 2 entire empires. Something has forced even the victors to go underground, and as we have learned through research, the Everdrome, didn't always exist. It was constructed to keep something out.
Perhaps I should also mention I was shown something by this friend of mine. Outside of this continent, there lies an island where a new threat is growing. And to my eyes, as I was quite high up in the sky at the time, it just looked like a big, large black mass. Do I know what direction it was from the continent? Was it like southwest?
it was southeast.
Southeast? Oh. Okay, well, I tried to describe it then. It was far from the continent, but not impossible.
Yes, this tracks with what we have. This is the ongoing theory that I have created myself. I don't know if you already know, but the continent we live on used to belong to the dragons, known as the Draconian Empire or Draconian Imperium. The continent that I presume you have witnessed belonged to the angels, known as Eventura. The conflict started or emerged between both continents, and the war took place. As far as we are concerned, Yeshimon is when the angels first arrived. But it was a large-scale war that crossed the entire continent over time. The angels, as far as we are concerned, were defeated. However, the Dominators still sealed themselves. After talking with some of old Draconian priests, they told us that they sealed away a threat outside of the continent, which emerged after the war was finished. Unfortunately, it was lost with time what specifically emerged, but it seems like a threat great enough that forced all Dominators together to forge this seal.
Right, that does track with what I've found so far. So you're thinking that this threat might be breaking out of the seal that was created?
No, the seal is to place the Dominators into creating the Everdome. And the Everdome is currently preventing the threat to reach our continent. And I presume the black mass that you have seen is the very threat that is outside of the Everdome.
So if I was warned that a threat's coming, then perhaps it's either found a way to reach us, to attempt to break through the dome, or is looking for another means of entry.
That, or people are trying to break the dome from the inside.
That checks out. Well, any more large-scale problems arising? There's the Unholy Blood Legion trying to perform a ritual that we don't know what the end is. There's a threat outside the Everdome. I know that those in Tellus are using demonology to give themselves strength.
Just a happy day. In the Sapphire's Plain, you know?
Yes, this has been a conflict growing since the ages. And now you are part of it. Anyways, these large-scale things shouldn't concern you for now. There are other things that are occupying the both of us. Once you have grown to stronger capabilities, if you wish to do so, you can dabble with the circumstances that we have placed ourselves in. But for now, I think it is more important that the Blood Legion is taken care of. I think that is something that you might be able to handle. Not in the ways of sheer force.
We literally couldn't stand on our feet against the...
They are so powerful.
The commander, whatever he wants to call himself, at the head of the Blood Legion, was just about to crush us into literal goop before you, Master Zephycus, came in and swooped us out of there.
Yes, if you try to fight sheer force with sheer force, ultimately the one with greater force will always end up victorious. And I don't believe your team is made up of such capabilities to match their force, at least not for now. You have learned, and through learning you have grown. And I see that you have grown quite substantially in the short amount of time that I have come to know all of you. Which is why I am placing a bit of my trust, quite all of it, your futures and your ability to uncover things. So, if you're open to it, of course, take as much time as you need to recuperate within my archive. However, I think a goal I would like to have you all research and come to know a bit closer is the origins of this Blood Legion, because I myself do not know a lot about it.
Right. I was given some insight. Oh boy, my notes are so vast. Was it... Is it... Oh boy. Alfredric Septimus? He's in charge of the area, right? Just north?
No, he's not in charge of that area. As my memory serves correctly, he was born in a village called Undon.
Right. Someone told us that there may be a thread there of the origins of, well, this bloody legion and what they're doing. So perhaps we could head there.
Definitely. And please do double research before you venture out there. So, my time is coming a bit limited. I have places to be. I'm getting many signals of troubles brewing in different regions. So before I part ways again with you, are there any more urgent things that I can take care for you in this very instance? Because I feel like it will be a long time before we be able to see each other again.
We have a very large dragon bone that we don't know what to do with.
Right.
And I would love to find someone to trade it with that you would trust so we could get things we could actually use. As we don't really have time to study a bone that would probably take years to look at properly.
Yes, I think I shall take that off your hands. Make things easier, and then I shall have O'Toole investigate it further. Obviously, I would compensate you for parting with such a great gift.
That would be exactly what we're looking for. Actually, I know his name. It was Invectus, the Arch Fire Spark, an Infernal Obex Keeper.
That is not its name. It is the title and the power it held.
Oh. Oh.
Invectus is a special type of elemental powers that the dragons used to wield in Kalor, the Empire of Fire. The Obex Keepers are those who were granted this special power.
I also have this. I originally drew it as a favor for another person, but if you have a way, and I'm sure you do, to copy it, I think it would be beneficial as well. It was a drawing of the entire set of bones that we found and how they were arranged. We just couldn't bring it all back.
Very useful.
And I produced my picture. If you're able to copy it, I would like to add it to the research.
Gladly.
He kind of swipes his hand over, and then a piece of parchment materializes in his hands, and there's an exact copy of the sketch you made.
I need that spell.
He puts it inside of his vest. And then...
It's called copy paste.
Yeah, it's
Right?
copy-paste.
It should be like a cantrip.
Yeah, with a camper, you can just copy one piece of parchment. He then says,
Very well. Well, for that bone I shall give you all. Yes, I think this is good enough. Well, while you were assaulted by the Light Commander, I did manage to take a small souvenir from him, which I think you can use better than he himself.
and he just kind of takes out this incredibly large blood red greatsword that he just plops onto the table and says,
How does a wizard disarm?
What?
What?
says,
Immediately look at Jade.
Well, her eyes are just
Like
so big.
immediately.
A weapon that might come in quite useful. She'll also give You owe 50,000 gold, which you can spend within the city. And kind of points towards you, Fiora. Make good use of the item you have in your pouch.
Look at my satchel, like, guys. Oh, he gave us all rings.
That is the second topic. I shall take them and destroy them.
That is
I
much.
throw it. You're gone.
I'll mage hand mine over.
Yeah.
I just look at you guys like you're lunatics. I'm like, what is happening?
Uh,
Oh,
As long as we go.
you know the very man that tried to destroy us 24 hours ago?
yes.
He gave us a ring of protection like a couple Vosses ago because we thought he was the good guy.
And you were still wearing it?
I mean, it
It protected us.
it made my armor more efficient.
And Azathia kind of looks at them and says, yes, but wide variety of other things were happening. Anyways.
I have noticed we've been watched by. I kind of look at Eric and kind of like turns by a few different individuals since we've been a group.
What?
Will I be able to find a spell below that can kind of help us at least sleep soundly without people prying in?
Yes.
Down below, you mean up above?
Up above, sorry, the tower's upside down. Yes.
We're in a different dimension, so where you point doesn't really matter right now.
Oh.
Yes, I'm pretty sure my tower will be able to supply you with a spell that can grant you comfort while you sleep.
Perfect.
Alright. With that, children, I will leave you to your own devices.
And what kind of axe did you say this was so I can add it?
A great sword.
Great sword. It's a blood crucible great sword.
Oh Jesus!
Oh.
I want to know what that does. I want you to see. Oh boy,
Blood Crucible Greatsword. Okay.
he's gonna be so pissed when he sees you with that.
Can we like paint it at least? So it doesn't look the same.
Okay. Do you want me to read it to you guys?
Sure.
So it's a large blade made out of golden red iron. Its guard is shaped like to praying hands out of which the blade comes out. Being attuned to the sword grants you a +1 to attack and damage rolls. Each time slashing or piercing damage is dealt within 10 feet of you, you can use your reaction to extract the blood and gain 1 charge on your sword. Unholy Sanctity. Each time you use one of your divine smites, you can use one of the sword's charges to heal yourself equal to the damage dealt with the smite. Using this, the damage of the smite cannot be reduced by any means. Blood Smite. When you use your divine smite, you can expend 2 charges to unleash a blood smite. Each creature within 5 feet of you takes the smite's damage. Blood Flood.
What?
You
Yes.
may use an action if the charge gauge of the sword is full to unleash all of the stored blood within the blade. All creatures within a 30-foot cone have to make a strength saving throw, DC 18, or be pushed 10 feet away and become prone and take 8d8 bludgeoning damage. On a success, they only take half as much damage and isn't pushed or knocked prone.
Ooh.
This is a game changer.
Jade's eyes are just like big ol'.
Yeah. So every fight, haste and just watch Jade kill everything.
Except for I won't be able to have my shield.
That's okay. Haste will give you 2 AC.
Okay.
And I can definitely cast some shielding on you. I have Shield of Faith, which adds another 2 AC to you.
And I can make it my hex weapon and my pact weapon, which allows me to use my charisma modifier to hit and to the damage.
Oh my gosh, this blade belongs to Jade. Like, this is.
Well, you have to be a paladin to into it.
It is. Yeah, it has Jade's name written all over it. This is awesome.
Well, cool. I guess a question for you, Godric. What can you tell me about the new person in charge of home?
Yeah, that is a complicated kabapple, to say the least. Since we have decided to stay neutral on these terms, they have kind of give us the silent treatment. So unfortunately, we aren't well informed of what the new leadership means.
I see. Is the previous archbishop imprisoned, or?
A mystery. The Holy City keeps its secrets quite close to their chest, as I think you very well know.
They do like to do that. And do you know what artifacts were taken? I heard that the Legion stole some.
Yes, unfortunately, no information has been released, and we weren't able to get our hands on anything there. So this might actually be a job for you in the future if they ever appear.
Interesting. And what of the Legion at the border of Colas? Are they fighting?
No, not yet. Though that might change really fast, as it seems like a war has already broke up between the Lutherians and the Legion in Heems.
Oh.
Seems like they have made a move, though to which extent I do not know. And to add on top of that, if you wish to know all the global scenarios, a all-out civil
It
war
would help.
has happened in Yeshimon, occupying 2 of the legions there. It seems like one of the legions has rebelled.
Which legions are those?
Let me, my memories of, it was the 5th and the 19th.
And which rebelled? That's dust in rune, by the way.
The 5th.
Oh.
That commander actually was a great friend of mine. Sir Escassy's Dowerlights is a very honest man.
Do you know why these rebellions are taking place now? It can't be coincidence.
Well, 2 years ago, the king got assassinated. And there have been rumors that, well, it's the king was going against the faith of the Holy Legionnaires, and blame was put onto the Holy Legionnaires that they were responsible for the assassination of the king. And since then, there's been a bit of, well, tension between the folks living there and the legions occupying the city.
My parents are a part of the 5th Legion.
Well, that is quite some news.
Interesting. I can help you contact them if that's what you would like. Well, we can look into that. So it sounds like there's conflict in almost every. Are they countries? Regions?
Countries.
Countries. The timing seems odd.
Yes, well, it all has been kind of funneling towards it. The years long of peace and the tension is now starting to boil over, and people are becoming more unsatisfied. And I think the biggest moves, the biggest players are now starting to march into action.
Interesting. Well, I think we have plenty to think on, and if we can help with the Blood Legion, we will. But I think there's also a chance we may have to start opening our eyes to other things going on in the world as well.
Yes, potentially. Though I believe all things are connected, so by doing the one thing, inadvertently you are already widening your eyes.
Are the Atrium mages doing anything? Or have they said what they plan to do?
Well, I am one of them.
Of course, but I'm guessing everybody has their own opinion.
Corvith and I have been long friends since even the olden times. We are trying to create, let's say, during this time of chaos, a new order that can maybe replace the current,
The families.
so to speak. We wish to encompass a bit more than just Azathia. We want to create a frame which can help the people guide their societies and lives, and not erect a nation or stuff like that as has been done in the past. Or a way of philosophy, if you so will, to preach our teachings that might help all the peoples. We have had allies from colors, but they turned out to be fraud, and they are now pursuing their own goals, trying to aid the king and the throne. But once the Holy Legion's order crumbles, something needs to replace it.
Oh boy. Very well. Is there a place I should put my tower while we're here?
Wherever you wish.
Oof.
Right in the middle of the
I
artifacts.
know, he just told Pierre that. Like, Interesting. Okay. Well, thank you so much for this meeting. Should we know of any other allies of yours we might run into?
For now, I consider all of the Atrium High Mages an ally. I have overseen most of them myself personally.
Oh shoot! Hold. I think he was a high mage. I'm working on the thread here. It's in my notes. There it is. Yeah. I have a lot of notes. Can you tell me about a recent graduate of Kovith. Maybe you've met him, Kenneth Erkstein. I believe he is of the Guild of Evocation.
I do not dabble too much in the graduates. COVID would that.
I see.
Well, to identify an ally is quite simple of mine. Ask them if they belong to Zelia's new order.
Zelia, do you say?
Yes.
Very well.
Right. Then you all are dismissed.
And he just kind of wishes up his hands, and then you're inside of the lounge again.
With
I
authorities.
immediately check my bag.
What do you check?
What's new? What do you put in there?
You just rummage through all the stuff. It's just the usual stuff. You see the kind of old. Well, actually, one thing I think you didn't really have the time to see, but that you now see because you were in darkness when you picked it up, is a effigy of Saint Maria.
That's
But
right.
that looks very different than the one you had because it's completely covered in blood and soaked.
Oh,
and it's
Jesus.
red.
Of course. Of course. Why not?
Hey, two peas in a pod. You've got a blood thing. I've got a blood thing.
Jeez.
I've got Tiamat's blood.
It's a
I got a
cleric,
blood
man.
lotus.
Hey.
And if
There
I
you
get
go.
blood of an innocent, I can summon Felcob.
Now let's go.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Guys. 50,000 gold.
Right.
Just as a reminder, that is 100 pounds heavy.
Oh, right.
I am over encumbered right now.
We should split that up. We can put some in the tower for a rainy day.
Of course. I am not walking around with tens of thousands of gold pieces on my person.
How about we find a place for the tower?
Yes, please. As I start walking half speed towards
I
the
just,
exit.
Don't you have a bag
I
of
just-
holding? You can start
Weird.
shoveling it in there.
I was gonna say I can help carry stuff.
We have
Like
two
if
bags
it's
of holding.
if it's
Yeah.
in its own pouch, I can
we
just.
do have 2 bags of holding.
And mine really just has tools in it. Like,
I have
there's
a
no-
dragon bone in it.
Mhm. Okay, we deal with the money.
Yeah.
And then
I
outside.
still do want to put some in the tower, just because
Right.
I would hate to walk around with a lot of money on
Yeah.
me.
And heaven forbid I have a character that dies again. And I lose all my
Shush.
money.
Yeah.
Shush.
I didn't want to dig around the demon for your stuff.
Yeah. Fiera, how would you feel if we all got kind of a small personal chest or something that we can store stuff that we want to keep for ourselves in your tower? Not that I don't trust any of you guys, but just so that we can, have each our
Oh.
little stuff. Like I could put my money in there, and like if I have stuff that I don't necessarily want to walk around
Let's
with.
just say that was on my to-do list.
Okay.
And so depending how long we want to stay, well, we should talk about the tower. What do I know about people looking in other people? Like, is there a way to know?
Now that I have
Like
scrying,
if I'm magically being watched?
now that I have scrying, I can definitely tell you.
How much
where-
holy water do you need for that?
I need an urn worth 1,000 gold of holy water
1,000 gold?
For scrying?
for scrying. I need 1,000 gold pieces worth of stuff, and since we have someone that can make holy water,
That's a lot of powdered gold. Or
it is a
powdered
lot of
silver.
powdered silver. Yes, which is why now that we have a lot of money, I can.
We just go buy all of the silverware in the city and grind it up.
We might have a focus. I don't know how much it's worth though. You know how to look in on people, Ezra?
Yes. So, whenever you are being scryed on, a person. Hold on.
Let it cook, let it cook.
Yeah. A creature that can see invisible objects sees the sensor as a luminous orb about the size of your fist. So if one of us can see through
do that.
invisible things, we can know that someone is looking at us. Also, trying to scry through someone's eyes or outside or something takes some wisdom. You need. It's all about the mental power. So if you are mentally strong,
I look at Eric.
your brain can kind of, block
Right.
out the scrying. So if we are being spied on, it's probably not through me. Could potentially be through anyone else that doesn't really rely on their wisdom. But yeah, it would be nice to have either a spell or something that can make
I'll
us
look
see
into it.
invisible things.
I
Yes.
do want my tower protected, so I'll put that on my to-do list.
I can put see invisibility into my spell storing item.
That seems like a wonderful idea.
Which means that I would not have dark vision for the period of time that see invisibility is in the item. So we might have to go find something that gives me dark vision.
Yeah, I think I can hold on. Can I? I think I can.
If I put see invisibility into the spell storing item, we can use that basically at will because it will last 8 hours every time I cast it.
Whoa.
I can give you dark vision for 8 hours.
Oh.
It is a spell that I know.
Guys.
Yeah. Okay. We have a plan.
I can make up to 400 gold worth of holy water with what I currently have.
Need 1,000 gold for.
Well, you need.
Because I have 8 flasks currently, and it says the dollar amount for that is 200, and I can make 4 more.
Yeah, on the wording for that, it specifies a urn that is filled, that is worth 1,000 gold, which means literally the urn itself could be 9,500 golds worth of gold.
Oh,
and
so
then
it's like a fancy bowl you need, and then you need to put water in there.
Yeah, I need holy water into it. So I need a focus worth at least 1,000 gold, such as a crystal ball, a silver mirror, or an urn filled with holy water.
Exactly.
So we could either find very fancy urns and put some holy water in it that comes, both of them combined to 1,000 gold, or we can find cheap urns and pour a lot of holy water into it.
I might
It
have
really
something.
depends on how we want to do it. It's gonna, you know,
Yeah, and the consideration if you need like gallons of holy water for it to constitute like 1,000
A
gods. So
bathtub. You can fill
Yeah,
my
it
bathtub
is.
full of water.
Yeah, that's
have-
the thing, right?
We have all of the gems and stuff still in the tower. Can we just make
Yes.
our own expensive urn?
I don't know how to, but if you do.
if you have the materials for it, of course you can.
We can
There's
just
painter's
put-
material or painter supplies.
we can go and buy an urn that isn't very expensive and then cover it with emeralds.
That's true.
And gold and stuff.
I have an ability. Okay, hang on. Let me look at an ability.
House spells.
We're just doing this all in front of O'Toole.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
smiling.
I don't care about O'Toole.
he's probably used to it.
He's
Yeah.
just smiling. Joy.
And
So when I so with my trance, so my long rest, I can gain 2 proficiencies. And once with a weapon or a tool. Right now I have 2 tools, and I can change it whenever I finish a long rest.
Perfect.
so I just need a small DM check on this. In my spell, in the components part, you know, it says verbal, somatic, all that, and then it says a focus worth, but it doesn't say that it consumes
No, it doesn't consume. It doesn't.
the
consume.
item. It doesn't. Okay, so I don't have to like. I
No,
just
no.
need 1 urn
Exactly.
of water
That you protect with your life.
that goes straight into my bag of holding.
So because
Before
I
we
can
make
change
anything, we might have a solution. Because I have that sun shimmer glass we found the ruins. Do I know how much that's worth?
You probably have to go check it out. I would
We
get
never
checked out.
got it appraised.
You might just be able to use that, especially if we get polished.
I might be able to get like a glass blowing proficiency and like make something fancy. I could even probably if we
Unless
could
you guys just
crystal, I
want to
could
make something. It sounds like it's.
Well, it's something that's been entertaining because like I've never
true.
had to like change the proficiencies
That's true.
after a long rest, but this gives me a reason to mess with it.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I just need a focus, and then I'll be able to scry on people. I can know people's whereabouts. So yeah, depending on like how much I know them, how close I am to them personally, what my connection is to them, etc., etc., it's going to be easier or more difficult. But basically, like, if you wanted me to check up on your mom, or if you wanted me to, you know, things like that, I can
Right.
do it to some degree.
Right.
Like, I
Interesting.
could literally check on your brother if you wanted to. Because I know you are waiting for news from him.
I am. Actually, So I just look around trying to see an invisible orb. I can't see it. Ah. You know what? It's fine.
We can
If people-
discuss this in a
Right,
more safe
right,
environment as well.
It sounds like we want to be here for some time, though. So why don't we
Yes.
spend a couple days addressing some personal things, looking for research, and prepare for whatever journey we want to do next.
Yes.
We can look into this Blood Legion and its origins, but we could do other things as well.
I
There's
was
a lot of things that need help.
thinking with this newfound money that we have now. I was thinking of perhaps buying us a small house of some sort that we could call our own while we're here and move Tila out of the inn and into an actual home?
We have to get someone who's going to take care of her.
Right.
Yes.
Hmm.
And I feel like it would be much easier if we had an actual, place to come down to. I love the tower, but it feels like we are always on the move and all that, and coming back to an actual home would be.
Makes a point.
And Delit Solis is the safest place for us when we want to go home. Doesn't have to be like a fancy castle or something, but just a
Castle.
even if it's got like one bedroom, like
Mine.
half of us doesn't need to
I call the
sleep.
bedroom.
Half of us doesn't need to sleep, so
Technically,
Might,
wouldn't the bedroom belong to Tila?
Oh,
Let's
fine.
think. I do think that's a good idea, especially if we're putting down some quite deep roots here with Zephygus.
yeah.
Hmm. Let's take care of our needs first, and
Yes,
if we have
definitely,
something left
definitely.
over,
Yeah, we have to be careful because 50,000 won't take long to spend that much.
Of course.
Yeah.
Clearly,
Of
your
course.
jug was
Yeah, by the way, Fiera, we got an alchemy jug.
You like
Okay.
mayonnaise?
Are you producing
uh,
right now?
I was thinking, it's okay.
Well, you'll like it now because we have it basically forever.
Yeah.
Any food we make in the tower, we're putting mayo on it.
Oh, we also got honey and beer and wine and oil and poison and acid.
That is wonderful.
Yes.
I could poison my enemies.
Hmm.
Can you imagine dipping that new blade into poison and then just going on an absolute rampage?
Yes.
Jesus. Okay. Well, let's go find a spot for the tower.
Yes.
And we have to make a plan. Not a plan for our safety. We have to make a plan for what we want to buy.
Yes.
What did each of us need or want?
Spells. Spell supplies.
Yes, let me make a shopping list real quick.
And with that's where we're gonna end today's session. 32 hour with a shopping list. So that's your homework for, I guess, until next week. You can just plan amongst yourselves. We don't have to bore these folks with another shopping episode. Well, actually, they're quite fun. I actually quite enjoy them.
They're fun. They're fun.
Shopping episode and research episode, and it turned out amazing.
Yes.
For some of you.
It might have changed.
Yeah.
Hey, you may not have answers to your questions, but you have a sick new blade.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
A black crucible, great sword.
It's gonna be great to see the look on the enemy's face when they see me wielding it.
Yep.
Especially the Blood Legion.
Especially because, like, when he was trying to make me submit, I was the one that wasn't. I just dropped to my knees because everybody else fell and I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't leave you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a big old red old sword. Yeah. So, I guess I will leave us here. Please like and subscribe for the revelations, the new pieces of information that you have received a lot. Even though actually quite a small bit of time was spent researching. I did expect a bit more. But yeah, we will see what the Fate Weavers will be up to next time.
I gotta make like a quest list.
Yeah, me too.
Save the world.
Save the world, as easy as that. Step by
Yep.
step. Okay, until then, we'll say goodbye for now. So bye.